I was just about to be like, oh, no one's waiting, you know? I have started this new ritual of welcoming people by name when I first come in, and I was about to be like, oh, well, shoot, there's nobody for me to welcome, and then Mel comes coming in clutch. Thank you for that, Mel. Thank you for hanging out. Um, it's a little bit of an impromptu sort of stream. I mean, technically, like, I decided that Saturday was wildcard day, so there's Comrade Anthony. Hello, Comrade Anthony. We got Old Woman Josiah in the site chat. We love the site chat. We sort of prefer the site chat there in the top link in the description, but we do still, YouTube chat is still good. There's nothing wrong with YouTube chat. I mean, trolls are there. We got Ela Devine in the website chat. Hello. Excellent. Welcome, welcome. I think these kind of later streams are ones that I should just probably avoid. Yes, Comrade Anthony in 2 chats. I should probably avoid these late streams. Ooh, do you see that the little widget that just popped up on the screen? I'll do it again. Pay attention if you want to see this new widget thing that I've created on the screen. It is... Okay, ready? Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3, go. There it is. We've got to subscribe and click the notification bell, little thing that pops up, and followed by a join my Patreon thing that comes up. Ooh, I know, so fancy. So we're just getting more and more stuff. More and more stuff. I heard from the artist that I engaged. I engaged an artist in a contract earlier this week, whatever. My conception of time is kind of wonky right now. I got in touch with an artist that has done art for me before to make some art for the, you know how I normally, before the stream starts, there's this little page that I just lifted that straight off of Google Images. There's going to be something custom to go there. And potentially also another one that will show up when I step away to go to the bathroom or something like that. So that'll be nice. We will do a little fundraising for that specifically, I'm sure, since everything that happens on this channel is totally user-funded through Patreon and donations and site subscriptions and all that jazz. I feel like I need to cough a little bit. And on the note of everything being super viewer-driven, super audience-driven, first of all, hello, my horties. I haven't addressed you by title yet. My horties. Today is supposed to be kind of a friendly call-in stream for the fact that the Discord is now set up. That's one of the timed messages that I was supposed to be making earlier. Is it here? Oh, I still have it. So, there's a little link there, and I'll put one in the YouTube chat as well. If I can figure out where it is, put it there. I have a new Discord. Horty is... So I am... Hello, Gayfesh. Hello. Welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. Freya in the YouTube chat asks, what does Horty mean? I am the dragon. I'm the dragon streamer, and you are my horde of audience members. My horde, or horties. Horty, you know? That is what I've decided to call you all. So, welcome to the horde, anyone who is in either of the 2 chats. You are now a member. You cannot escape. What's up, Dream? Hello, welcome. We're just kind of chilling. I don't have anything in particular planned, except that the new Discord is set up, and I would be happy to have people drop in to the... I have the waiting room in there. Oh, we have some new members in there. Okay, nice. Yeah, so if you join the Discord, which I linked in the chat already, you can potentially join in for a little friendly call-in stream. Even more user-driven than usual. I've already done several streams recently that are just like, oh, we're going to talk about whatever chat wants to talk about. Well, even more so. Do you want to call? Do you want to call and hang out? Why are all NBs dragons? I'd rather be an owl, though. That's fair. We do have Leftist Owl, who just joined in the Discord. I don't know if they're in the chat right now. But I don't think all NBs are dragons. I only know like a handful of dragons, but I know a shit ton of NBs. Although, I think most of the dragons that I know are also NBs. So, that is an interesting thing to point out. I will also say, relatively close to the top here, that I think today... Okay, real quick, Leftist Owl. I think today, we're gonna call an end to this. We have been raising money this past week to get some groceries for me and for Demon Mama and all the critters, since Demon Mama has been out of commission with COVID and some kind of bowel problem, right? So that's a big part of why we're streaming. At the end of today's stream, which could only be a couple hours long, whatever we have here, I'm going to send like 50% of it to Demon Mama, accounting for PayPal fees or whatever, just to come to a close. If we do hit, like, whether or not we hit 400, if we do hit 400, I am going to attempt to play my guitar and sing at the same time, which I can't actually do. I tried it for the first time in a while recently, like a couple days ago, and it went better than I was expecting, but still not great. So it's kind of funny. It's going to be a struggle, and that might be amusing. I don't know. Does it seem fun to you? Because we only have $111 to get there, and probably about like 3 or 4 hours to get there. So we're just gonna, talk about whatever chat wants to talk about, and we have a couple people in the waiting room. I know Leftist Owl has been wanting to come in and chit-chat with me for a while, and they've been playing Elden Ring and got stuff going on. I want to say hello to Mersh really quick in the website chat. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, I think I'm going to, first of all, you just get to have this in general. We're gonna bring Leftist Owl in. Try to, at least. Hello. Can words happen? I think I turned off press to talk for me. Yeah, it's on voice activity. I just have to join here.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing super good. How are you doing?
I am currently beating myself up.
Yeah? In the game? In Minecraft?
No, because I have what's called a it's a software that like has drum sounds and stuff, and I recently wanted to clean up my desktop, so I like moved everything that was on my desktop into a new folder and then deleted everything. But I don't think it carried over some of the locations where I had the drum sounds, and so I'm currently trying to figure out where I could possibly point the software to hit the drum sounds. So I might have to go through and torrent them again.
Oh no, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Oh gosh. Real quick, I just have to say thank you to Mickey for the $10 dono. They said, hope this helps. I appreciate that. And also, while we were offline for the last few days, someone did a tier 1 subscription. So that's very cool. That's been going pretty good so far. And agreed, dicks. It's my favorite emoji. I love the dicks emoji, Just across all of the .gg websites. How's the Elden Ring been doing?
Oh my god, I've been loving it. It's slowly becoming my favorite game of all time, really. It's so fun.
I saw Vosh saying that it was blowing all other games out of the water, so apparently it's quite revolutionary.
Yeah, it is insanely good. It is absolutely nuts. I love it. Um
Have you played other
so
like of the Souls games, right? Like
oh yeah,
you have a seasoned background.
I've played pretty much all of them, besides maybe Demon Souls. Uh the first one I fell in love with was Bloodborne, and that was my favorite for a while, but Elden Ring quickly overtook that, and it is now like it, so a lot of people say like Breath of the Wild is sort of like the definitive Zelda experience where like the vision of the creator of Zelda is like fully realized within Breath of the Wild, and I feel the same is true with Elden Ring. It is the quintessential like just like pinnacle of Souls games, and what the creator wanted to achieve with Dark Souls, and it's fantastic.
That's fair. On a totally like unrelated like Zelda note, I don't know that I would agree with that description of Breath of the Wild. Like I don't know that it's the quintess. It's quite different from every other Zelda game, you know? Like I don't know that that's
Yeah,
what
but
Zelda was always aspiring toward.
what I mean is like because like a lot of what the creator has said about the original game that he made was that he wanted to recreate the sort of feeling of going and exploring like caves as a kid and stuff like that.
Yes, you're
And
right.
I feel like Breath of the Wild really captured that to its fullest extent. And it's not to like denigrate the other games. It's just that I feel like it represents the spirit that the creator was trying to go for in the initial Zelda.
That's totally fair. Yeah. It definitely there's a lot of wandering. It's kind of perfect for my ADHD because of how it's designed. You know, it's got like all these triangles in the background that are pointing you towards your objective. But
Hmm.
you can like meander to the Koroks in between. Anyway, that's a totally unrelated Zelda sidetrack. I was trying to quiz you about Elden Ring. Mostly, I just wanted to give you said you had some ranting to do about it, so I just figured like I don't know much about the Souls
It's just
games.
so good. Oh my god. Like I love playing Souls games for the first time and like exploring them, but like this it felt even more awe-inspiring, especially with how well they integrated a lot of the things they put into the game. Like there are these underground sections that are so big that they have their own size, and it's like there's I remember going through the starting area after I had already explored a bit more, and I found something that I hadn't found before, and it took me underground, and it was just like descending for at least a minute straight, and it sort of slows down as it opens up into this huge like area with like this purple sky with these sort of like star like lights in the distance, and I was just like, this is fucking awesome. Like it's so cool discovering shit like that for the first time, and seeing how big the world is, because it's not just like big in terms of like the overworld. The underground of Elden Ring is massive as well. Like there are these huge playable areas that can take minutes to cross at a time, just underground inside the world, and it's fucking dope.
I saw some people again sidetrack kind of theorizing that that's what was going to happen a little bit with Breath of the Wild 2 just because of the trailer showing it like
Yeah,
them wandering around in caves, you know.
yeah. And I really hope with Breath of the Wild 2 they ditch the like hundreds of fucking the hundreds of shrines or whatever in favor of something a little more structured and a little less samey, because that's one thing with Elden Ring is that there are some of the dungeons that look kind of samey in the beginning, but then once you get towards the late game, the dungeons get even more complex and interesting, and having you do different things or like explore different avenues. It's really great, and I really hope they do that with Breath of the Wild too, where they sort of just instead of having the hundreds of shrines that just sort of look the same, they have like maybe like 50 shrines that look very different, or at least different enough to make it feel like a new experience.
Yeah, that's fair. Like the puzzle challenges are different from one shrine to another, but like their actual aesthetic are pretty samey.
Yeah, and so it doesn't feel like you're exploring a new area. It feels like, oh well, this is just another puzzle I have to solve, and you're not concerned with the visuals at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like having character within like a dungeon and stuff can help enhance the experience, especially considering that like you're sort of exploring this world. Um, but yeah, it's been great, and I really love that there's like barely any load times with Elden Ring as well. That's one of my issues with like Zelda, is that there's a lot of there's a lot of load times. Um, but I guess that's just due to the Switch not being that powerful.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The Switch is
But also I do run it on my gaming PC on Cemu, and the load times are a lot less dramatic, uh, especially considering I run them off my SSD.
I have heard that there are like basically a lot of what I see on Twitter is that there are a lot of references to previous games within the
Oh
game.
yeah,
Do you think
oh
this
yeah.
is one that like somebody who's never played a Souls game could hop into the franchise? Because I've literally never played any Souls games, and I'm curious if this is something that would be worth my time or if I'm just like
So
not suited for it.
that's a hard question to answer because I feel like this is their hardest game yet.
Okay.
So so I feel like that would sort of, because I think Demon Souls was probably harder because it was a little more unfair than Dark Souls. Like there was way more done to have things against you, whereas Dark Souls, felt a little more fair, and there was design choices that made it feel a little more fair. Um, and Elden Ring, while I feel like can be fair to an extent, there are certain bosses and design choices that I think are like kind of bullshit. Like there's one boss towards the end that just like annihilates you from a distance constantly, and it just feels like you're dodging most of the time rather than anticipating moves and then hitting. It just feels like you're dodging the whole time and trying to avoid damage the entire time rather than you know having this sort of interplay with the boss. um it was really frustrating, and I feel another problem that I think the game has is that there are so many gank bosses, and if you aren't familiar, gank bosses are bosses that have multiple enemies at once, and it is the most frustrating thing on the planet. Oh my god, there are so many gank bosses, it's not even funny, and I fucking hate them. I hate them with a passion. They're always really fucking bad.
It's so fascinating to me how I didn't really realize that this was a thing until just this moment, but different words within the gaming communities can be used in kind of different ways. Because did you say gank?
Hmm.
Like GANK? Like,
Yes.
okay, because my experience with that word is fundamentally different as a World of Warcraft player. Um,
Oh no, no, it's what it stemmed from. Because
really?
a
Okay.
gank, is usually like you're outnumbered.
Oh, that's not what I understand ganking to mean.
Oh really?
I guess ganking is when a higher level player fucks around with with like a smaller, like a youngling, a lower level player. That's what ganking is.
Oh okay.
Um, at least what I remember of it. Like words get used in different contexts all the time. It's possible that like me and my partner were using it in a particular way that's not representative of the overall community. But that's interesting. Um, ganking as being ganged up on. Yeah, that makes sense. I had this thought recently about games and media in general, and that I think kind of colors my view of the Dark Souls franchise. And I'm curious how you feel about this idea as someone who's played like several different ones. Um, I personally don't really love media that feels like there's an adversarial relationship between the creator and the consumer. Like, as in, like, I don't like the idea that a game was designed to first trick me before I could succeed. You know, that like is designed for me to fail in a specific way before I'll get around to it, or something along those lines, you know? And I've kind of gotten the impression that Souls games are a little bit like that, that they're a little bit trolly. Like, I get the impression that they kind of troll the player. Do you feel that way?
Sometimes, but it's always it's more of you have to learn how the mechanics function, and then once you learn that, you can start to learn how the game wants to kill you. So it's just it's learning, it's all about learning timings of like the boss's attacks to like either parry or like dodge. um and while there has been like people been like, oh well, it's hard but it's fair, and I don't think that's always the case in Souls games. I think there are things that make some bosses, really unfair. Get, the gank bosses example, because like sometimes when they do gank bosses, they have one, aggro onto you and attack you for most of the time, and then the other one will kind of sit back and maybe come in once or twice. But then the ones in Elden Ring will just fucking kill you. Like you will get attacked, you'll get doubly attacked no matter what, and it's like, well that's that while I can appreciate that as like a concept of like being difficult, I don't like it because it doesn't feel fair. It feels like the developers are deliberately oh, we need to make this hard. Just throw another guy in there.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the whole adversarial thing, I think it can be a good thing. To sort of challenge people and to not necessarily trick them, but like get them to think and get them to not just instinctually react, but react in a very measured manner. Because there are a lot of bosses in Elden Ring that punish you for rolling too early or rolling too late. And so it sort of trains you to roll at the specific time that the attack like gets swung down or whatever. Because like some bosses will like raise up their hand, and then if you dodge, they'll like come immediately down and hit you through your dodge. But if you do it as they're coming down, if you dodge as they're coming down, you completely they completely miss you. So I think that type of game can be good. And if you're um if this is going to go into like a matter of like whether Souls games should have like an easy mode, I think yes. Um, I think it's fine to have just like an in menu sort of thing to fluctuate difficulty, but some people will argue that like sorceries and stuff like that is easy mode, or like playing it a specific way is easy mode, but I don't think that's necessarily true. Like I think the game can still be difficult even if you are, quote unquote, playing on easy mode by doing casting sorceries or doing this specific thing. Um, I think a mode where the enemies don't do as much damage, and bosses don't do as much damage could benefit the game accessibility wise.
Yeah, or if like certain moves like swing a little slower so that whatever window normally exists in which parrying or dodging is effective is longer. Like I know that
Hmm.
that's an issue for accessibility, you know, like people who literally like don't have the reaction time. So, I could
Yeah,
see that being
and
beneficial.
and I will say the Dark Souls community is toxic as fuck.
Yeah, what isn't Sekiro a Dark Souls, and that was like the one that was, oh my god, people will not shut up about there being some kind of accessibility option in that game, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think, but my thing, the thing about Sekiro though is that if you that Sekiro had a very narrow way of playing the game that you just had to get good at it, and if you got good at it, it was pretty easy. Depending on the boss, the final boss, honestly, is possibly one of the hardest bosses they've made, but is also one of the most complete bosses they made because it incorporates literally every lesson you learn throughout the game rolled into one boss. And I always have trouble getting back, like coming back to it. Like I have to play the game for hours before I can face him again. And even then, it takes me so long to kill him.
Sounds very punishing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun though, especially whenever you're having trouble with a boss and you finally kill him.
I find game balancing to be such an interesting thing conceptually. Like I'm personally pretty limited in the types of games that I play. I'm maybe gonna branch out of this soon, but historically I've been like a puzzle simulation, like like a village or city simulation type shit. Um, but the concepts of how you balance like learning, like gaining experience versus like how much experience you need to get to the bosses, like how much experience do the monsters give you when you kill them, so how much grinding is there going to be in this game, like the mechanics of reward in video games is just fascinating to me. And I like it's hard to strike the right balance, to be totally honest. And like
Hmm.
there's I think a certain type of person who loves the masochism of the Dark Souls franchise.
Uh, I wouldn't necessarily say masochism necessarily. I think it's more of wanting to overcome challenges and being able to um effectively being able to effectively and efficiently learn bosses move sets and be able to take them down. Um and I think that's where a lot of the community gets sucked into. They just take it too seriously. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Um, because I was complaining about one of the bosses, and they were just like, "You good scrub," and it's just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, if that's your answer to any criticism I have of any of the bosses, then you just need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm gathering from you generally is that like this is actually a fairly mechanics driven game. Like it teaches
Yeah,
you to learn the mechanics, and once you learn those mechanics, like there is a certain timing. You're supposed to do certain stuff at a certain time and everything like that, right?
yeah, definitely. And some of those timings can be very, very precise, and sometimes it can be a little more lenient. And another thing that I think kind of benefits of the game is that you don't have to defeat each and every boss at a specific time, whereas in Dark Souls you kind of had to defeat a certain boss to progress to certain areas, or to progress the story. Whereas this one, you just can progress the story, but you can also just go out and do other things. You can kill other bosses, you can kill optional bosses, you can go do this, that, or the other. You can do other people's quest lines, in the meantime. You're not railroaded into just beating your head against the wall against one boss. And I think that could be good for new players coming into the Soul series, is that they don't have to defeat that boss. They can just go and explore elsewhere and do whatever.
I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's one aspect of open world games that's so nice, right? Your ability to just say fuck it, I don't want to deal with the main quest and go off and do something else.
Yeah, and just like Breath of the Wild, you can pretty much go, well, you can kill the first two bosses, just straight up, and then go to the third boss you need to kill her, and then go towards the end game, and then um go and kill the main story bosses towards the end. um Regardless of your level, you could just go and do it, like YOLO. Just like kind of like Breath of the Wild, where you can go straight to Ganon.
Yeah, yeah, in Breath of the Wild, yeah, you can go straight to Ganon if you want to. You just have to beat all four of the mini bosses right before you beat Ganon also, but it is doable. Um
Hmm. Yeah, have you seen speedrunners do it?
yeah, absolutely.
It's nuts.
It's wild. They'll have their amiibo so they can get Epona and then they'll run
Hmm.
in. Or if like there's I love how speedrunning has so many different subtypes for each game. Like there are like amiibos permitted uh Breath of the Wild speedruns, and there's like amiibos not permitted, so they have to do like a weird game glitch where they shield surf on top of the head of a bokoblin and it just happens to like
Yeah,
send them
yeah, and
flying
they
all the
just
way
go,
across the
yeah, it goes
map.
flying. Yeah, it's
It's
great.
amazing.
It's so cool.
What a great game.
Yeah,
um
but yeah, in with Elden Ring, I think speedruns probably might not get. I think the longest one I saw was like, or the shortest one I saw was maybe like 40 minutes. That's mainly due to how spaced out the main fights are.
mm. Wait, was that you said a speed run of 40 minutes?
I think so.
That's pretty
Let me
good.
check.
I don't know what the win
Yeah,
condition is for Dark Souls or Elden Rings or whatever, so I can't know how impressive that is. It sounds impressive.
yeah. Have you seen? There's a channel called Terminal Montage, and they do like animations depicting like speedrunners, and they're so fucking funny, especially considering how accurate they are. Like you can see I see everyone in the comments be like, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Oh my gosh. I'm so
Yeah,
distracted.
there's
Sorry.
a 37-minute 15-second speed run.
30. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
37 minutes 15 seconds.
That's really impressive. That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh man, speedrunners. Yeah, I personally kind of feel like the speedrunner concept like sucks a little bit of the joy out of a game, but damn if I'm not like that's like Olympic level gaming right there.
Yeah, there I've tried to do speed runs occasionally and like try to do some of the stuff they do, and it's just like I can't. I'm good. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna sit here and practice this for like 2 hours and try and, get this glitch going.
Yeah, it's like technically the amount of time that the actual playthrough is quite short, but like the amount of time that it took them to get it that short is like mind numbing, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy to see them like figure shit out so quickly. Like people would just do random fucking shit. Like I've listened to some of like the speedrunning like finds and stuff like that, and it's always just like someone doing some random shit, and then all of a sudden the game breaks and they're like, "Oh, how did that happen?" And they figure out how it happens, and then it becomes a new technique.
Yeah, and then you have like there's a level in Mario Kart 64 where like right next to the opening like starting line, you can just like in reverse like bounce up over one of the walls and it like skips
Hmm.
the fucking lap or some shit like that. Like who did that? Who figured that out? The
Yeah, it's
absurdity.
crazy.
I wish I had that much time on my hands.
Same.
Or that much dedication. I guess I do have that much time on my hands. I don't have to sleep, it turns out.
Sleep is for the
Optional.
weak.
It's totally optional, How many hours do you think you have in Elden Ring so far?
Like 120.
120. That's respectable. That's respectable.
Yeah, I literally played it from the night it dropped. Uh, Went to a concert, came back, slept, and then played Elden Ring for like a week straight while I worked from home, and just absolutely demolished it.
It's only been about a week, right?
It's been
Since it
it's been
came
two, I
out.
think.
2 weeks since
It,
it
it
came
came
out.
it,
Okay.
it came out 25th of February. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Okay. Still, that's
Yeah, there
impressive.
so many other people that I know that have played it, just like on LeftTube and shit like that, are like, oh, I'm only 30 hours in, and I'm just like, I'm 120. I have beaten everything. I am on playthrough number 3.
You cannot touch me.
I love the Souls games so much. They are some of the most fun I've had. And it's funny because like at first I played Demon Souls and I was like, I hate this. I'm probably gonna break something because of it. I'm done. I will never play these games ever. And then when Dark Souls came out, they were like, oh yeah, it's from the same people who did Demon Souls. I'm like, cool, avoiding it, awesome. And then 2015 comes around, Bloodborne comes out, and I was like, cool, gonna avoid it. And then like I think towards 2016, I don't remember specifically when, but I was just bored at home, and I'm like, man, I need something to play. And Bloodborne was like $20. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna play Bloodborne, and I'm gonna fucking beat it. I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone. God damn it! And I fucking beat it, and I loved it, and it is still one of the best games I've ever fucking played.
That's, you said Demon Souls was?
No, Bloodborne.
Bloodborne was. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, I've heard almost universally good things about Bloodborne.
I am on the edge of my seat waiting for them to make it for PC. Sony has been remaking all of their has been porting all of their exclusives to PC, and I'm just waiting for Bloodborne. I want Bloodborne PC, damn it. I want to play it in 60 FPS.
Just turning into a skeleton waiting.
Exactly. Cuz on PS4 it runs at like 15 to 30 FPS, somewhere around there, and it
Ooh.
looks like garbage. The game itself is like gorgeous, and I love the aesthetic of the game, but by fucking god, does it run like shit on the PS4.
Yeah, I had a game that it came out on PC, but it just doesn't fucking run very well on PC, and I'm just full of tears. Like, I just don't think there's
What game?
anything I can do. It's called Okami. It is a,
Okami?
yeah. You play as like a white wolf.
Oh yeah.
I played it on the Wii back in the day, but and I got it on Steam, but it just it won't stay in full screen basically.
Yeah, I heard. I think I heard about that. I think I heard about the PC port being garbage.
It sucks. I mean, I played it before, but
Wasn't it
like
a PS2 game?
it was PS2 and Wii, like it came out concurrently, I think. Because those were
Yeah.
both at the same
Just get a
time.
shit. Just get a PS2 emulator. It'd probably run better.
I have a PS2. I could just get the game. I mean, they also
Oh, that's
ported it to
fair.
Switch. They ported it to Switch, and I have it on the Switch, or I could have it on the Switch if I wanted. I have a Switch, I should say. I didn't have one for a long time, so that's an adjustment I'm still making.
I really hate that like pirating is like digital piracy is illegal because a lot anytime you join like a Discord for an emulator, they're like, don't talk about piracy, guys, piracy's legal. And it's just like, I get it, you got to do it because you don't want lawyers coming after you, but at the same time, don't fucking foot around this shit. Like, come on, I want the ROMs, damn it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care
Yeah.
about dumping my fucking games. Fuck that.
Yeah, I understand it. I just I have a contact. So if I ever need something, I just ask like, "Hey, can you acquire this for me?" And then
Hmm.
it becomes available to me usually.
Nice.
Yeah. It's well, to be fair, um I think that my inability to do all that myself is this person's responsibility. So if they were ever annoyed that I bother them to have them acquire things for me, I think it's on them. Anyway, someone do you agree that Guardian Ape from Sekiro was the best boss ever?
Eh, it was all right.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, I do respect FromSoft from like making you think it was dead, and then it would be like, nope, you thought.
JK.
Yeah, like literally, like you kill you. I think you cut its head off, and then you this fucking centipede like fucking burst out of its neck, and he starts like controlling the ape's body, and like I think it uses its head at some point. I don't remember. But yeah, that shit was sick as fuck.
Oh my gosh. There were some just unexpected things in that description. What do you like? What? So, this is something I was gonna ask you earlier. Like, I've heard that some of the names of the monsters in Elden Ring are pretty outlandish, and I was wondering if you had a favorite so far.
Um, shit, I don't really know. I do know that there a lot of them are like sound the same. Like there's Margit, and then there's Morgot, and then there's Mog, and it's just like, wow, that's totally not confusing.
It do
Oh,
be
and then
like
there's
that though.
there's there's Godric, and then Godfrey. It's just like, oh, thanks, thanks, FromSoft.
I
I
think
definitely wanted to get
I
confused.
think that's realistic, because here's the thing: didn't George R. R. Martin write for this game, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
in his universe, a couple of the main-ish, not like main, but well, actually, plenty of characters have very similar names. Like there's Robert, the king, and then Rob, because Robert's friend Ned, his firstborn son, is called Rob after Robert because they were best friends. But then
hmm
also in the Vale, the guy who raised Robert as his ward named his kid Rob, which is changed to Robin in the TV show to make it less confusing. Like realistically, I think it's true to form in like medieval fiction that people's names are going to be relatively similar to each other. Like people are going to be
yeah.
named after their granddad a lot. People are going to have like similar roots to their names or whatever. It does make it confusing, but like to an extent I get it. And like it's fucking George R. R. Martin. Like what a weirdo. You just can't argue with that guy. It's like Guillermo del
hmm
Toro. Like what are you going to say to that guy? Do you have a
Yep.
favorite boss from Elden Ring though?
Um, trying to think. I think I definitely had one. I just forgot who it was.
Oh no, I put you on the spot.
Um, ah, fuck. I'm really trying to remember. I don't remember which one it was, but I think I really liked the last two bosses. I kind of wish they weren't separated. Um, or I kind of wish they were separated instead of just back to back. But other than that, it was pretty fun.
Sounds good. They were back to back the last two bosses you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Were there any cutscenes in between or did it just
Yeah, there's
smash
a
cut?
cutscene in between,
Okay.
which is kind of weird.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's the end of the game, so, no spoilers or
Yeah,
whatever.
not at all.
Well, you got anything else going on lately?
Um, I recently built a mini PC to so I can fucking carry it with me to Poland. Um, it's funny. I tried to make it the cables and stuff really clean and like vertically mount my GPU,
Mm-hmm.
but that was causing thermal issues with my CPU, and so my computer was just like fucking just going crazy. Um,
It said no.
like it. Well, the thing is that it would function, but there would be a lot of stuttering, and it was starting to the screen was starting to artifact and stuff, and so I was like, yeah, I should. And I looked at the temperatures, and it was like anywhere from like 80 to 90 Celsius, and I'm just like, yeah, I should probably go back.
That's bad.
Yeah, and so I had to go back to my other configuration, which doesn't really let me kind of cable manage because the GPU basically takes up so much space that I kind of just have to shove the cables into a certain spot.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it looks like a mess, but it works.
Oh my god. Those mini ATX cases, they're quite challenging to work with.
They are pain in the ass, but they're worth it for the portability.
Yeah, I suppose that is fair. Like I have like a normal sized ATX case, and I will not say that it's super portable. But like, I mean, I feel like you got all these fucking wires anyway. Like a desktop is a desktop is a desktop when it comes to that, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I also have a portable monitor that I can just sort of mount to the side and when I take it with me.
Yeah, I guess that's hard to argue with.
It's fucking awesome.
I feel like I would just, I mean, I don't know. I guess it would depend on what the price difference would be. The choice there between like souping up and modifying a laptop to be more cooling efficient versus just building a mini ATX.
My my thing is that I already had the PC. I would have to end up if I wanted something comparable to what I already have, if not a tiny bit better, I'd have to spend like $2,200. But you know, why spend that when I could spend maybe 400 on a new case, motherboard, and maybe a new cooler and stuff like that. Um, and just be able to bring my desktop. Like, why not? Um,
Totally fair.
because I do heavy gaming. I do all the gaming. So I need a beefy boy. I'm eventually gonna get a gaming laptop that I can bring with because I definitely don't think I'm gonna you know have my $3,000 computer constantly with me every single time I go out. But that'll be in the future.
Yeah, the laptops. Yeah, someone Technetium in the chat says that they have poor battery life, to the point of basically needing to be tethered anyway. But like, I would say Technetium, like the purpose for me isn't necessarily to have it be like totally untethered from the wall, but more so that it would just be like
Portable.
well, yeah, like the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, like these are not all. Maybe the mouse would be a separate element. I would probably still prefer to use a separate mouse, but at least the keyboard and the fucking monitor are attached to the computer. Um, yeah, I can definitely see the use of a gaming laptop. Like, I would personally probably modify mine to be better cooled than most laptops are, because gaming laptops are notorious for just fucking more like not literally catching on fire, but like metaphorically catching on fire. Um, but I've been to conventions before. It's been a long time, but I've been to like, you know, comic sci-fi conventions where it would have been cool if I had had the ability to bring a gaming platform of some kind, whether a computer or something else, to like play with people or whatever. It's been a long
But no,
time though.
I'm so tempted to just like get one of those like portable power supplies that are like maybe like 4x4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh and just put it in my backpack so I can have I could just like not even have to take out my laptop or my computer. I can just hook it up to that thing and then I can take the display out and just set it on the thing.
Yes, exactly.
I was really tempted to bring it today to my IT class, but I didn't know if I would be able to plug it in somewhere close to like a chair. And then I go there and I come to find out the chairs have fucking outlets built into them.
Whoa. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So conceivably, I could bring it to class, and I kind of want to just to show people how cool it is.
And then the chair is plugged in somewhere? That's so fascinating to me.
Well, so it was at a university, so like they have the huge rows of chairs, and then they just have like wires going into them to power the outlets or whatever.
Oh, okay. But like the chairs are, it's not like a bench that's immovable. Like it's a chair with a wire
No, it
hanging
is.
out
No,
of
no,
it.
no, 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 no. They're bolted in. These are
I see.
university chairs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. I went to uni for a year and there wasn't anything like that at my uni, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to figure out this drum sound thing. I'm so mad at myself.
Are you procrastinating?
Well, I kind of don't want to be distracted while talking to you. I'm just ugh. I'm so mad at myself because I had like the perfect kit like set up, and now I might have to re-download everything and have to search through and look for what I want again.
That's a bummer. Well, I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to depart, I didn't really have anything else that I planned on talking to you about. I just know that we had been talking about doing some kind of conversation on stream
Ooh,
for a
ooh.
while, you know.
Headphones. Did you see the headphones I sent you?
I did. I perused a little bit. I've gotten several recommendations just in general from that tweet. So I have a good amount of research that I have yet to do. It really bums me out that I can't like try on as as much as I may
I
understand it. I would like to
know.
be able to try on headsets.
I know. It is the curse of being an audiophile is looking at a headphone and watching people rave about it and be like, well, I won't know my thoughts on it until I can hear it.
It's not about being
Because
able to
like,
hear it for me, obviously. Like, I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't know if you can, like, you're not, I don't know if you're looking at stream, but like, I have big fucking gauges that are like steel, and then I also have like another lobe piercing that I would like to not be smashed against my head because it's still healing, you know?
I think the ones I sent you, the harmonic dyne Zeus, would be
Hmm.
a good fit. Either that or the any Sennheiser ones, because the Sennheiser ones usually have pretty big, pretty long pads. But I would definitely recommend the harmonic dyne Zeus because these headphones are just anyone could buy them and just be happy for life with them, like just
Okay.
content.
I'll have to
Because
look at those.
they sound so good. They are fantastic headphones. Like they are still currently my favorite ones to use right now. And there's one other set that I want, but they're $3,000. But they sound like $3,000. Like they sounded so good. I went to the rep and was just like, do you guys have a payment plan? Like, can
Yeah,
I can
true.
I pay this over time, please?
Oh my gosh. Did they say no?
They did say no.
Oh, rest in peace. Okay. Okay, yeah, that was
Yeah.
the third link that you sent me, I think.
Yeah, they are so good, and they're expensive, relative to most other things, but they are worth every penny, and they sound so great. The only problem is the wire. The wire is a bit funky.
They are insanely expensive, my friend. That's $370 for a pair of headphones, Sib.
Yeah, but
It's wild.
relative to other headphones, they are very cheap.
I guess. So the thing is, like, I don't really care what they sound like. Like, all I need them for is to be able to have conversations like this one, you know?
Well, unfortunately, most cheaper headphones, besides maybe the Sennheiser stuff, like the cheaper Sennheiser stuff, don't really come with the big ass fucking pads that you usually have to go, upwards of like 200 to $400 to get something like that. Um,
Really.
yeah, like because typically when making headphones, a lot of the cost is R&D because audio is fucking weird,
Mm.
and you can do any amount of fuckery with a headphone to make it sound different. You can the pads you choose, the distance the driver is from your ear, the the material that the cup is made out of, how the cup is shaped. So many things factor into how a headphone sounds, and so a lot of the cost of a headphone is R&D, as well as the parts of manufacturing. That, like, with the headphones that I was talking about that are $3,000, there's the return on investment of that is like maybe $1,000. Like, it takes them like two grand, 2.5 grand to construct the headphone, and they sell it for like 3,000, 3,500. So they're not making like a huge a huge amount of profit off of the headphones themselves. Um, but the bigger, also the bigger the diaphragm, the more you can do with it, or the more fuckery you can do with it. So typically bigger headphones are more expensive, at least in my experience.
Interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
And like I
It
don't
also
I don't think I have a very big head. I don't think my ears are very big, so the headphones I guess don't have to be enormous, but like I mean
you might
I have
you
these
might
Audio
be good.
Technicas that just absolutely slay. They hurt.
Yeah, you might be good with the first ones I sent, or yeah, the first ones I sent you, the Civga SV21s. You might be good with those. Um, they're not the biggest, but they definitely have like that sort of like egg shape, and the pads are really soft.
Okay. I'll have to read reviews. Basically, like I'll have to start with like the ones that you sent me. I've gotten really big into reviews lately. Like you know,
Oh yeah,
it
I
matters how many there are and everything. I'm like, oh, this has like 40,000 reviews. I trust the feedback on this overall more than one with like 50.
yeah. The I actually watched one headphone reviewer called Z Reviews.
Hmm.
And I actually met him during an audio convention, and I was gonna go to his house for a New Year's Eve party, but he had to cancel because he got COVID.
Oh no.
Yeah, he got it like 2 or 3 days before the party was gonna happen.
Rip. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
COVID.
The Skivs. I think you should be good with the Civgas. They look big enough, and their pads are super soft. Oh my god. Um,
I feel like if they're too soft, then they're gonna just like get compressed over time, you know?
Not only that's the thing though, they're super soft, but the clamp and the pads themselves don't really crush in that much.
Okay. They got that like space foam going on.
Yeah, they're really good. I kind of regret selling mine to Dylan, but I might buy them again. They're relatively cheap. There's a few other sets that I know of that are so fucking good, but they're on ear and they're cheap as fuck. Um, the cost KPH 30Is and the cost KPH 40s are just like magnificent headphones, and they're cheap as fuck, but they're on ear, so I don't think you want that.
No, yeah, cuz like I mean like the top parts of my ear in addition to the gauges, like I'll get red marks and stuff like from just having my the cartilage of my ear pressed on, you know, like the ridges.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic pain disorders. All kinds of
Um,
random little shit hurts way more than it should.
if anything, the cheap pair of Sennheisers, like the HD 58X, would be good as well. They're like $150. Those are usually really good. They're also pretty comfortable too. I have a pair that I painted.
Said the Sennheiser 58X, is that what you said?
HD 58X. I'll send it to you on.
Yeah, no, I got it. I just like I'm really bad at remembering things, and so just like a series of letters and numbers
Yeah,
is quite difficult, but I figured out which one it was. They look enormous, which is perfect.
yeah.
When it comes to
They sound
headphones,
pretty
I'm
good.
quite a size queen.
Yeah, they're not my favorite sound signature, but they're definitely good. And they are very comfortable. That's one downside to the harmonic Dynazeus is that they're heavy, and so after a certain period, I do get fatigued with them.
Mm,
Um, but the Sennheisers I could wear for like hours.
okay.
The only problem I have with the Sennheisers is the fact that they come with the longest fucking cable imaginable, like 10 feet, and I'm just like, I don't need 10 feet. I want to bring these out, fucking. I want to bring these outside. I want to just sit at my desk. I don't need to like, I don't need to travel across the room with them. Jesus.
Yeah, my Audio Technicas have like a 10-foot cable too. It's, yeah. You
Which
just gotta
ones do you
coil
have?
that bitch up somewhere.
The M? Do you have the M40s?
Oh god, I have no idea.
It's probably on the side.
My dad gave me these ATH M50s.
Oh yeah, those are garbage.
Yeah, they were just some
um,
backups.
they're the funny thing is like those pads, the stock pads,
Yeah.
feel soft at first, and then you put them on your head, and you're like, "What is this bullshit?" Like,
There's
why
just
do they?
nothing to them.
There's just like you touch them and you're like, okay, that's soft, I guess. And then you put them on your head and you're just like, why is there stone on my face?
Yeah, the thing that happens, like it's not this ear, but the ear that I'll use this ear that's demonstrating pointed. Like there's this like, this ridge in the very middle of your ear.
Yeah,
This hurts so fucking bad when I'm wearing those headphones. Like it's so much pressure on this like point of hard cartilage in my ear. I hate it so
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. Sennheisers will probably suit you best, considering they sort of have like that oval shape and are pretty big.
Hmm. Well, cool. Okay, I guess that'll be like my primary starting point for when I go
It's
to
funny.
compare those.
So I have a pair of speakers on my desk set up, and my friend has been meshing with me for a little bit. And she went back to her place one day, and she was just listening to stuff through her like TV speakers, and she just texts me out of nowhere and just like, "I hate you," and I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "I I'm listening to this shit on the TV speakers, and it sounds like I'm listening to it on my phone through a bathroom."
Oh no.
That's
Yeah.
like my favorite. That's my favorite thing is like ruining audio for people because like I have them listen to really good stuff for a while and then they and then they listen to something else and are like, oh god.
Leftist Owl, that's a cruelty you've done because you're making them spend. No, listen, they have to spend more money on better equipment now.
No,
I'm
they
like,
don't.
I want to be able to listen to
You
shit
can
on my
get
bad headphones.
you can get good stuff for cheap.
I guess.
Audio is no longer expensive. My desk speakers were like $300 altogether with the amp and the speakers themselves, and they sound fucking incredible.
Leftist Owl, do you want to know how much my speakers and subwoofer cost?
150.
$20. $20.
I guess I'm just bougie. Jesus.
I cannot even imagine spending more than $100 on speakers. That is fucking insane.
But they're so good.
I guess.
Like just fly out to Virginia and I will show you the ways of good audio. I
I
will show
don't
you
want to
this.
know. I actually
But you're
just
gonna know if you get the Sennheisers, you will ruin audio for yourself.
I actually just noticed like last night that these speakers actually have like some kind of active like buzz, and I was like, "Oh no."
You know what that is?
What?
It's noise being introduced from the other electronics around the speakers.
Oh,
And
because it's not a gold-plated wire.
no. That's not the reason
I'm
why.
sure.
It's because the amps on the inside of the speakers themselves, or at least the subwoofer, if the subwoofer is the main part, isn't shielded from electromagnetic interference.
Yeah.
Um, whereas a dedicated DAC or amp would be, and so you won't really get that buzz.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just suffer. Listen,
Hey, I will personally purchase anything you want, speaker or audio related. I do not care. I will I love spending money on other people's audio so they can experience what I experience because it is truly glorious.
I might have no choice but to take you up on this because, like, I mean, I've been sitting in like a wooden kitchen table chair since my chair broke like a little bit less than a year ago, and because the reason, like, originally I was gonna wait to buy like a $1,200 cross-legged chair that's designed for you to sit like
Jesus.
that. Yeah, but now the chair that I want is only $200, but that's still money that I don't have.
Yeah. I my chair is my bed. So I
Oh
can't
yeah,
I can't lean back.
that's rough. That's
Um
rough.
yeah. It's just how my room is set up and how my room kind of has to be set up right now because I've got a drum set in the middle of my room and there's only so many ways I can configure it to sort of get it to work how I want.
Yeah, it's a
Um
struggle.
yeah, so I kind of have to have my desktop like right in front. I've thought about just moving my desktop and then keeping like a monitor right in front of the bed so I can still watch movies and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then move the desk and everything to the other side and then just have that be like my little chair area or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have to spend quite a bit to get that going.
You could get like a movable arm for your monitor, maybe, if it has a VGA mount in the back. A VESA
I'd have
mount.
to show you my setup sort of illustrate what I truly mean because that is the case with one of the monitors. I can't really do that with this monitor. It's really hard to explain. I'll probably show you a picture on Twitter or
And you need
something.
diagrams.
Yeah. um but yeah, eventually if it supposedly my roommate is going to be getting kicked back into the barracks. So at a certain point, I might be able to steal his room uh, and put some of my stuff in there.
Nice. Just
Yeah.
slowly expand outwards.
Honestly, what I probably would do is I would just take my bed into there and then just keep this as like my like streaming room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the biggest room. So, well, I guess I need it for my drum set. So yeah, I'd probably just keep this as like my streaming room.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
smaller room, if possible, should be the one for the bed.
yeah.
Like, what else do you put in there? Your fucking clothes? Who cares?
um, and uh, and if my other roommate ends up fucking. Oh yeah, did I ever tell you my? Do you know Faraday Speaks?
I've heard of them.
He's my roommate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hopefully when he gets a job, he can upgrade his PC and then give me back my PC. Because
Yeah,
I'm letting him borrow my other one.
that's really nice of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty because like I had initially upgraded my PC from a seventh gen processor to a 10th gen, and I had to switch the motherboard out. Um, and I was like, fuck it, let's upgrade the RAM too. And so I basically had a whole nother computer that I could build. So I bought another case and then threw everything in that, and then had that as like second computers to sort of like stream stuff from. Um, and when he came to live with me, he was like, "Yeah, my computer's kind of shitty." And I'm like, "Okay, you can just use mine, I guess." And then I upgraded to the 3080, and then threw the 1080 Ti into his rig that he was borrowing. Um, but hopefully soon he can fix his and stop using mine, so I can use it as a streaming, either a streaming PC or a PC for my other room.
Either way, it would be nice to have it back.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Leftist Owl, I appreciate you hanging out. It's been about like an hour. I need to take a quick break, and then I want to give possibly some other folks an opportunity to pop in the waiting room while I'm stepping away to see if anybody else wants to pop on and chat for a little while. I really appreciate you coming to chill though. We should chat more often, and I would like
Yeah.
to generally I would like to find games that I have in common with other people so that I can play games that I enjoy with other people. Have you ever played Scribble.io? It's pretty fun.
I don't think so, but I could try it, I guess.
It's like Pictionary. It's a party game. It's very low pressure.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, I'm gonna just pop out of this. I'm gonna pop out of the stream room, and
All right.
take a quick bathroom break. I have no bathroom song, which is unfortunate, but we're working on it.
I'll see you later.
Later.
Bye.
Okay, I have disconnected. Thank you, Mersh, for the $20 super chat towards headphones. I did see it. I just needed a second to address. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Yeah, if anybody wants to chill in the first of all, I haven't properly addressed you in a minute. Hello. If you haven't hit like on the stream, please consider hitting like on the stream on the YouTube page. And also consider joining the website chat, a top link in the description on the YouTube page for the video. And if you're interested in having a little friendly call-in chat, I might do a little friendly disagreement if someone had a little friendly disagreement. But I'm not really trying to like have an intense argument tonight because I've already had enough of that in my personal life lately. And hey, no worries, Mixed Dizzy. Basically, like, I'll post this link again in the website chat. If you join the website chat, you can click the link to join the Discord. Once you join the Discord, the only channels you'll have available to you are like welcome and rules and announcements. If you go into welcome and rules and click the little heart to react to the message in there that says that basically the only rules are follow the Discord TOS and don't be a jerk, you will then join the server and gain access to all the other pages. And then you can tuck in the waiting room and hang out and oh my gosh, it's 9:30, which means it's medicine time. Mixed Dizzy, I don't have argument, I have dumb facts. Dumb facts are always fun. Okay, oh my gosh, we've got several new viewers. That's awesome. Okay, Alora, I see you waiting in the waiting room. When I do genuinely need to take a quick break, so I'm going to take a quick break, get some water, go to the restroom, all that kind of stuff. Apparently, I can only last a little bit more than an hour before I need to go take a quick break. Do I have any hot takes nowadays? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I have opinions about, like, Vosh and J.K. Rowling on Twitter. Do we want to cover that today? We could cover that today. Anyway. No. Laura, I'm going to keep you waiting. I said I was going to take a break whether or not there was someone in But I do. I will go. Okay. I won't keep you waiting long. Okay. I got a little bit of water now. Oh my gosh, Dizzy? Are you okay? Are you alright, Dizzy? Do we need to send help for Dizzy? I love this little thing. Keeps popping up. It's doing so much work. Look at it. Join my Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. Also, a reminder to anybody who wasn't here when we talked about it earlier in the stream, we are raising money. Whatever we have at the end of this stream, I'll probably stop doing this particular goal at the end of this stream. Trying to raise money to help Demon Mama pay for groceries since she's been out of commission so much with COVID and everything this past month or two. And me get groceries, honestly. So whatever we have at the end of this $289 out of $400, I'll split that in half with Demon Mama. And also, if I get to $400, I will attempt to play the guitar and sing at the same time, which I am historically not actually capable of doing, so it should be kind of funny. Yeah, Dizzy, stop arguing about intersectionality as it relates to the joke. Chill. Okay. I am going to do a thing. Okay? I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do this. and then I'm gonna bring Alora in to the stream room. So, Alora, you should be in the stream room now. If you can hear me.
Testing, testing.
Hello, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. And I did mute the stream on my end, so hi.
Cool, hello.
I don't really have anything big to say, just keeping on brand. I just wanted to come in and I don't know, give some encouragement to trans people that probably needed about now. Yeah, just sometimes surviving is a victory, and the Sam speech from Two Towers is a big help. Uh, pretty much anytime that you're having trouble.
Which part from Two Towers? I'm sorry.
Sam's speech.
Oh, I don't know that I know the speech from that part, or is that the big like?
Have you seen the movies?
It's been a minute, but yes.
Oh, it's the things that really mattered speech.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh my gosh, I love Sam. Wow.
Yeah. And the I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you part. It also tends to be uplifting from Return of the King. So.
Yes, true, definitely. Yeah, I think that I'm taking probably more psychic damage than I'm willing to admit from all the news. It's been pretty tough. I was watching I was sort of looking through a live tweet of like an investigative journalist.
You were doing the Adam Mardall the men thread, weren't you? Or did you miss that entirely?
I am having a difficult time with audio processing at this moment. Can you repeat what you said real quick?
I was asking if part of what it was the Anna Mardall thread on the gender side book, The Men, on Twitter.
The thing that I was looking at on Twitter was like a live tweet from the ongoing court case that was happening in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that would be rough. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's very specifically the thing that bothered me. It's this investigative journalist just live tweeting what is happening in the courtroom as they're trying to decide. What they ultimately decided was a statewide hold on these investigations, where, like, to briefly update anybody who doesn't know, like, in Texas, they issued a statement from the governor's office that said transition-related care for children is considered child abuse under the presently existing child abuse law, so we're directing Child Protective Services to start investigating those cases as though they're child abuse outright. And then what culminated in this court case, thankfully, was that the judge said, no, statewide, stop doing that until one of these cases pertaining to this rule finishes, and we decide whether it's cool or not, right?
And then 5 hours later, they appealed, and that apparently cancels out the court order staying with them. So.
Really? So the stay itself, like, even from earlier today, it's been fucked over?
That's just from yesterday, I thought.
It's possible. My conception of time is really messed up.
Because like 5 hours later, and he said that he's going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that really bothered me when I was just reading this person's, like, this is literally play by play what's happening in the courtroom, was like there was like an 8-year-old kid who had written in and was like, I learned what CPS is this past week. Like, I don't want to be taken away from my family. And I'm like, oh, I am just going to cry a lot now.
Yeah.
Like, it's the kids that I struggle with. I mean, like, always for the past, like, several years, years and years now, the thing that I'm like, oh, if I ever wanted to be an actor, the thing that I can cry on command about is that trans kids deserve better. So I'm just having a really rough time.
Yeah. I I did want to come in here being more bloomer than doomer though.
Oh, it's good.
So I just wanted to say, Dana Terrace, the showrunner and creator of the Owl House, is doing a charity live stream tomorrow. Where is that? A charity draw-a-thon at 3 p.m. PST, which is at 5 Central. So I think that you said your thing said that you wanted to go at like noon tomorrow Central, right, or something like that, or 3.
Yeah, I think I think on Sundays I'm gonna try to start pretty early at like noon Central, because noon Central is like 6 p.m. UK time, and Sundays are like people in Europe should be able to catch it, you know?
Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying that if you're watching Luxander right now, unless you go way later, you should be able to catch the Dana Terrace draw-a-thon, and it's got like um the showrunners for Infinity Train, for Amphibia, somebody that was I think it might have been the director of Mitchell's versus the Machines. So basically, the entire animation production chain has been getting fed up with their working conditions lately, and especially in the last week, there's been a huge outpouring of rage from LGBT Disney people specifically.
I've heard about
So,
this, yeah.
so Dana just basically said, "Fuck it, I'm doing a draw-a-thon," and yeah, so it's gonna be all kinds of big name creators because they all know each other, and it's Owl House contest with maybe some Alan Dracula fun.
Very nice. And
If you know anything about Infinity Train.
I don't think I'm super familiar, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Alan Dracula is a deer that can shapeshift and do anything. Basically, I'm not quite sure how else to describe Alan Dracula. It's Alan Dracula doesn't talk. Alan Dracula is his name given to the deer.
Okay, fair enough.
But basically, also, Infinity Train is very good, and a lot of people agree that Lake, the person from the second season, is basically a trans storyline. So fun, right? I'm just gonna ask Mixed Dizzy since they would know. Lake is basically agreed upon to be trans, right, Dizzy? I thought so.
Emphatic yes from Dizzy in the chat.
Yeah.
I've heard this name Lake before.
Yeah. Lake is basically literally a mirror reflection of the character from the first season. Infinity Train it is an anthology where each of the seasons is basically its own story, but are kind of connected through stuff in the background and stuff. And yeah, it Lake is basically literally the mirror image of the character from the first season. It's hard to explain.
Fair enough.
Infinity Train did some really trippy stuff, but yeah. So not Infinity Train. Unfortunately, Infinity Train's canceled, and we'll probably never see the movie. But Amphibia and Owl House are coming back next week, and tomorrow we have the Dana Terrace with Owen Dennis, Brad Rappy, and I forget who it was from Mitchell versus the Machine, but they're going to be doing the big draw-a-thon tomorrow. So lots of fun stuff, even if the world is kind of sucky right now. There's a lot of gay shit happening.
Yeah.
And Lumity is going to be back, and I'm really hoping that we get to see some really gay shit in season 2B of Owl House. So
Yeah, that'll be good. I think that there's definitely plenty of positivity to be found, despite the fact that everything seems like it's kind of shit. I think mostly like I'm focusing on the smaller scale, creating environments that are community oriented, a little bit more
Mhm.
like cooperative.
Yep. Yeah. My brand is basically just come in and try to be cheerful and hopeful, even if things are dark. So figured I would come in since things are fairly shit right now. So
Yes. I'm
yes.
I'm basically like I want to like very briefly talk about some things that are important. Like I in the Discord, I'm sure you've seen like there's that we have an anti-trans law tracker page because I know Keffels has been covering that, and I've heard that Keffels has been frustrated that other people are not also covering these things. So I would kind of like to at least touch base on it. But overwhelmingly, I need a fucking break. So my stream
Yeah, I
time
think
is kind
that's
of a
where a
break.
lot of trans people are right now.
Yeah.
And God bless Keffels for transitioning from. I didn't really follow Keffels before. I wanted to, but I think that Keffels was more like just a shit poster before that streamed to serious hardcore. Okay, we are doing our part, and I have nothing but respect for Keffels for doing that. So yeah,
Yeah. The psychic damage is not to be
immense. Yeah,
understated. Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of everybody out there, make sure that you drink water. Make sure that you take care of yourself in regards to um, uh, binding and tucking and all that. Don't do anything that will damage yourself. Make sure that you eat enough and make sure that you get enough sleep. And that even goes for streamers that probably put too much work into their craft and don't want to take breaks for sleep. So, yeah, the best thing you can do right now is make sure that you survive because sometimes just surviving is accomplishment and an act of defiance in a world that actively wants you dead. So,
True. It's okay, I think, to just, like peel back a little bit and focus on being happy for a second. Like, that's totally acceptable. And that in and of itself is an act of rebellion?
yeah, and just as a I'm someone that has a mental disability. Sometimes that's literally all the energy that you have that you have, and a lesson that has taken me the entire lockdown to learn is sometimes just letting yourself be lack of energy and accept it and don't beat yourself up for it. That can be really hard, but learning your limits and not pushing yourself beyond them, it really will help you in the long run. So, to all the disabled people out there, I see you. Even if I only quote unquote have a mental disability and not a physical one, yeah, things are rough and yeah, yeah.
I
And also mixed dizzy, haha, I got on before you did. Tongue sticking out. Yeah.
well, I was about to do something nice. I was gonna say, we're gonna have a panel at some point, right? About like queerness and disability and like the intersection there. I was gonna say
Yes,
I'm
I
really
still want to get
excited.
that going. I I I had the panel that I think I announced in a couple places where it was going to be trans match people talk with a cis guy who practices positive masculinity. That fell through because my brain couldn't handle it, and I'm still working on that. I definitely want to get the disability and queerness panel going. I don't know when because brain is not cooperating. So
Understandable.
yeah,
Maybe you should get an organizational team of some kind that can kind of take away a little bit of that pressure.
Yeah, there is that, but then there's also my I want it my way, and it's mine, 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 mine.
I
Don't touch it. This is
understand.
mine.
You don't have to explain. I get it.
And I'm starting from absolute scratch, and yeah, um, I don't know how that would work, and I don't even know who I would ask, but yeah, I
No
would love to get this
worries.
going. It's the initial, oh my god, I can do anything I want, and oh my god, there are no rules. I need a rule book. What's going on? I need a manual. Someone help me. I need something. I need a guidebook. Help me. Uh, After I got over that by writing, by basically literally writing my own rule book, that was very very helpful. Although that was a very stressful couple weeks there.
I mean, yeah, when you
Where
write the rules, it definitely changes the game.
well, um, but I mean the realization that oh my god, I can do anything I want. Oh no, I don't know what I want to do. Oh god, what am I gonna do? This is too much. There's too much open space here, but it's kind of stressful for me. I don't know if you ever experienced that.
I definitely do. I mean, like, we just brought last weekend, we finished bringing all the last of our stuff in. Like, we moved out of, we were living with family before, so we had kind of a long period of overlap where we could just, like, kind of keep some of our shit there until we had gotten things organized in our new apartment before we brought more stuff over. Um, but this past weekend was really like really seriously, we would like you to have your shit out of here, please. So we got all the rest of it out, and like the number of objects was so overwhelming that like I basically, like, at the end of the process, it was still disorganized over there. So I was having this issue over there as well before we got the last of our stuff, where I would just be like pacing. Like, I would start to try to do stuff and I would work on something for like a couple minutes, and then I would just get overwhelmed and like just start pacing back and forth and just do that for like 20 minutes and then be like, I need to stop and do something. Like, I am so stressed. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I, I, I can't imagine moving right now. I have low rent, and this place has basically been molded around me to fit me perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably spend too much time in here because I can and oh also for anyone that's considering applying for disability, it really does actually help. I don't it where I live, it covers my rent, and that means I don't have to worry about a roof over my head, and that has been incredibly helpful over the pandemic. I will say, make sure that you hire a disability lawyer, um, because they don't get they do take money out of what you get, but they only get paid if you
If they win.
yes, and you don't know what's happening. Trust me, it is incredibly complicated. The bureaucracy is there to keep you from getting any benefits. And if you can, try to get SSDI because SSI locks you into government mandated poverty and punishes you for getting married.
Maybe I should look into SSDI because I think that's the only option. Although, I mean, I'm not doing terrible at the streaming thing so far, but it might help.
Yeah, the, yeah, I'm not gonna say what I'm getting because reasons, but it is a it is a very nice safety net to have, especially because well, it's not a big secret that about a year ago I was editing Demon Mama's TikToks and my brain just shut down after like 6 months and refused to work, and then I resigned, and that was basically the dream job. I could do what I wanted with whatever content I wanted at whatever pace I wanted, and I could do it from home on my laptop and upload semi regularly. And still, my brain refused to function, and the executive dysfunction it got to be a major issue. And yeah, it's
Not much you can do at that point.
yeah. Yeah. So but like I said, um, I'm here to leave things on a positive note. So if you like cartoons, Dana Terrace and the super queer thing is going to be tomorrow. I think. Uh, well, my personal guess is that Molly Ostertag might show up just because they tend to interact a lot on Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the casting crew of Owl House and Amphibia showed up. I, and I'm, but this is all pure speculation, and I would love to see Noelle Stevenson make an appearance, but that's just me. And Owl House and Amphibia are coming back on the 19th. Yes, it's Disney, but there's not really a whole lot of options when it comes to animation, and that's
True.
one of the big problems. And I believe that they, I forget if the Percy Jackson series is shooting right now, or if they are just getting the scripts finalized and the cast finalized for the main characters. But that's coming too, which is Disney, but it's always been owned by Disney. The original books were by Disney, and the Rick Riordan Presents imprint is a very good collection of books that are Percy Jackson like, but from non-white authors from their own cultures, which is really really cool. There's several dozen of them now, so
That's very
yeah,
neat.
that's positive stuff that I will leave you with, and I will back out now so that you can have more people on.
Well,
So,
thank you. Thank you for stopping by, Laura. I appreciate you. Having very recently met you, you've been very supportive so far, and I appreciate it so much.
oh, thank you, and yeah, I appreciate coming on, Zephyr, and Dizzy, you can suck it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so there's a couple people waiting in the waiting room. I know that Deer has been waiting the longest, so I'm going to make a quick little adjustment here and see if Deer is ready to come in. I must change things. I'm gonna change that, and then I'm gonna change, well, I guess I kind of can just do this. Bup, 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 bup. Okay, let's see if we can bring Deer over to the stream room. Hello, Deer. Okay, you've now unmuted yourself. I cannot hear you yet, though. Hello, I can hear you now. Hello, how's it going?
At the stream and then hearing you talk at the same time.
Yeah, it's a trip.
That's fun. I've never actually been called on to talk to anybody on stream. That's interesting.
Well, I'm a tiny little streamer, and you have been waiting the longest so far, so, you know, rules of fairness rule out.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, how are you doing tonight? Oh, well, okay, so real quick, before we get too far, I'm trying to be good about name and pronouns and stuff. So, your name,
Yes.
Deer, and then what are your pronouns?
That's not how you pronounce it.
I'm gonna keep saying it funny anyway. No, it's funny. How do you say it?
Well, my full name is Adira.
Adira, okay.
Yeah, so 2 A's at the end.
Adira? Okay, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
Okay, spectacular. I still don't actually know if I pronounced or if I spelled it right. Is it Adyraa?
No, it's just 1 A on each end.
On each end. Adyra. Okay, I got it now. We figured it out. And now it's visible to the chat. We got it. Okay, cool.
Wow, look at that.
Welcome to your first time being on a live stream. Please don't say the N-word.
I wouldn't be that cruel.
Thank you. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I've been chilling. I actually just finished watching Encanto for the first time.
Nice. I still haven't gotten around to seeing it. Would you say it's worth watching?
I would definitely say it's worth watching. I thought it was pretty good. It's one of the better ones, I think.
Nice. I keep hearing from people, like, the main thing I hear is, like, first of all, that it made them cry a lot, and second of all, that it seemed like it was over sooner than it should have been.
Yeah, I kind of did that vibe. It felt a little short, but it was real compact. They put a lot of story into there.
Yeah, I guess, like, that's just to say that the pacing was really good, that, you know, by the time you got to the end, it was like, oh, I just want more of this.
It was real tight, yeah.
Very cool. Who's your favorite character, do you think?
I forget her name, but the real strong sister.
The buff one. I wouldn't have known her name anyway.
I don't remember her name, but she gave a lot of trans vibes in my mind, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I heard that first of all that they had to the members of staff had to really fight with Disney in order to get that character in, and also that little girls are like obsessed with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I guess that's one of the top selling toys. Like they made a lot of toys of the kind of more feminine princessy character, but they're like just not pushing and they're just not moving them off the shelves.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem, she was like kind of somewhat of an antagonist in like the beginning part of the movie. I think that might be contributing, but I don't know. I literally watched the movie blind. I had heard or seen nothing about it.
Yeah, I do my best to avoid spoilers. There's only so much you can do after a certain amount of time, you know?
Yeah, I saw a few people talk about it on Tumblr vaguely, but I kind of didn't pay attention to it.
I do my best to just let the information slide off of me. If I accidentally see a spoiler, like I saw a spoiler about Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, I'm just going to assume that's not true. And then it was true, and I was like, okay, whatever.
My problem is information slides off of my brain involuntarily.
I know! Sometimes I can engage it on purpose, and it's like a superpower. I can be like, okay, we just had like I just had a really annoying argument with someone, and I'm just gonna engage my like not remembering shit in order to let it slide out.
Yeah.
And then we can continue to have a decent relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Problem is when somebody makes me like have an emotionally intense moment, that tends to stick, and I can never get over that.
That's the thing. Yeah, the problem for me is that then I end up with like this vague sense that something annoying has happened repeatedly.
Yeah,
but no details.
Yeah, the vague sense of something is not right here.
Yeah, I can't substantiate any of my claims.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't seen Encanto. The main reason I haven't seen Encanto is that I don't want to pay Disney. So
Oh yeah, I just pirated it.
That's fair. That's fair. I was saying earlier when I was talking to Leftist Owl, like I have a contact that I get in touch with when I want something torrented, but if that person finds it annoying that I ask them, I think it was their responsibility to have taught me how to do it myself, and that if they're upset about it, it's because they dropped the ball. So
The problem with torrenting, it's not that hard to do, but you need a VPN to do it without getting caught.
True, yes.
So you have to pay money to somebody.
Yeah, like I could say like if you found a good VPN company that you feel like you trust them fairly well, I feel like that's better than giving money to Disney, who are, you know, very much not gonna do anything to contribute to helping gay people or trans people right now, except for like they explicitly are like, we're not gonna help you in the courts, we're just gonna make movies that are vaguely gesturing at support toward you but not explicit.
We're gonna have the vibe.
How many first gay Disney characters are we gonna have?
Well, I guess there's Star Wars. That's something. That's one little tiny thing.
That's true, but they just like keep doing this. You know, there's like, oh,
yeah.
in the Beauty and the Beast, there's the first gay moment.
They put the token yay.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want me to tort you something, I'm
I know somebody who has a Plex server, and I'm logged into the
Oh.
Plex server on all of my devices, so I'm just
I don't have that sophisticated of a setup.
right, yeah. I'm just like, hey, can you please get me this thing? And then they're like, well, I would, except that it's not available digitally yet. And I'm like, oh, my bad. Like,
Yeah, I have that problem too. I
yeah.
just tried to search up the Batman, but they only have cam rips of
Exactly. It's like some dude sitting in the movie theater.
it. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'll just wait.
Yeah, I'm patient enough to wait until the end of the month. It'll be fine. I'll watch all the prerequisite movies as I'm waiting for the new release to come out, you know?
Yeah.
I just watched both of the Spider-Mans today. Oh man, those movies are good.
Oh, well, I guess which Spider-Man?
The Tom Holland's ones. We're waiting for the third one to come out digitally, you know?
Oh, so the new ones you're
Mhm.
talking about. Ah, I haven't. I think I might have seen them. Definitely haven't seen the newest one though.
Yeah, the newest one, I think, still in theaters, or it's in that weird in-between moment between when it was in theaters versus
Yeah.
coming out online or whatever. So it took me a long time to get around to the second one, but now I'm fully caught up on the Marvel. Well, not the TV shows, but the movies.
Yeah. Well, there's so many, it's hard to keep track.
Honestly, I would like to give up now. I really would like to give up now. Do you feel that at all? I don't know if you're a Marvel person at all.
I never even tried to catch up. There's just so many. I would be spending years of my life trying to figure it all out.
Bless you. Honestly,
I
just
saw
escape.
Infinity War and Endgame, and that's about it.
I mean, that's fine. I really feel like that would have been a slog to get through Infinity War. Because even when I was watching it as someone who's seen all of the previous ones, I felt like this is relying way too much on my emotional investment from the previous movies, you know? Like, I'm expected to care about all these people based on what I've seen about them before. You're not doing a good job of reestablishing in this movie, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I never really had any emotional investment in any of the characters. I more just watched it because my brothers are super into it, and
Yeah.
it had some good action scenes, and that's that was my enjoyment out of it.
That's totally fair. It's popcorn, it's filler and it's salty and it's yummy and that's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't land, I guess.
Perfectly enjoyable filth.
Yes. I am curious though. Do you watch Star Trek?
I have watched the original series at least once through, and a couple of the movies of the original series. I watched The Next Generation. I've watched that through a couple times, and I have several, favorite episodes from that. And then I'm sure that I watched Star Trek Enterprise, although I don't remember much about it, and that's kind of, the new movies, the action movies, the J.J. Abrams, I've watched those, but that's kind of where I'm at with my Star Trek exposure, and I really do love TNG. The Measure of a Man is an episode that I will just go independently watch sometimes because I think it's super spectacular. And apparently, based on my audience's interest in my opinions, I need to watch the new Star Treks because they have trans people in them. That's what I hear.
Yes, so I have opinions about the new ones.
Okay.
I didn't really make it that far through Discovery, just because the first few episodes, I don't know if it is like this through the whole show, but I watched the first few episodes, and it just, everyone is acting like children, like it's just so overly dramatic. It was too much, especially since I've rewatched the original series and the Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine. I've probably seen each of those 5 times.
Yeah.
Over. So it's such a huge departure. It's so much more like modern television with all the drama. It was too much. I couldn't continue.
That's fair. That might make it difficult for me as well. I don't know if you watched like The Flash, the CW The Flash. I think we quit watching it
No.
after about 5 seasons because of that same thing. Like, of just like, oh my god, this is so much manufactured television drama. Like, I'm so fucking stressed and bored.
Yeah, yeah. so so you haven't seen Voyager or Deep Space Nine?
I haven't. No, I hear really good things about Deep Space Nine. Like, that's the one that I think
Yeah,
that I
I
hear the
think if
most
you like the Next
aggressively.
Generation, yeah, if you like the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine is the one to start with next. I think that's people say that's the best Star Trek, and I somewhat agree. Although I do kind of like Voyager a little more.
Yeah, is Voyager the one with Captain Janeway?
Yeah, Janeway.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know
no,
like enough tangentially about them to be able to be like, ah, yes, this is a Star Trek with these fundamental elements going on.
Yeah, no, Janeway's great. Such a good character.
hmm And is that the one with the Borg on deck as well on the bridge?
I think yeah, yeah.
I don't know her
I don't want to
name.
spoil it too much.
7 of 9
Seven
is
of
what
Nine,
Gayfesh
yeah.
says. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, broadly the internet has like, I'm aware that there's like this character called
You have
Jadzia.
absorbed via osmosis.
Yeah, and it helps that I have a fundamentals. I like know about the Borg from
Yeah. Well, the Next
from
Generation,
TNG.
they kind of introduced that.
Yeah, so that helps any future
Yeah. They definitely get
references.
way more into the Borg though. Like way more stuff happens with them.
Yeah, it's. I think that these are going to be the easier type of shows to get me to watch because I'm typically quite resistant. Like, not on purpose, but because like it just takes a lot of incentive to get me to watch a new show, especially after Game of Thrones burned me. Now I don't want to watch incomplete shows. I don't want to watch shows that are not finished. But at least
I'm doing that right now. I'm watching the show called Raised by Wolves. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Ooh, it's real good. But it's not finished. They're only partway through season 2, as far as I can tell. But it's real good. The first season it's spot on. It's like this kind of sci-fi. It's actually like really out there sci-fi. Basically the plot is it's some indeterminate time in the future after Earth is destroyed by a holy war, and so the show starts with these 2 androids that start a colony on a distant planet to raise humans on this distant planet, and the first episode kind of sets this all up, and I think it's at the end of like the first episode, the other faction in the Holy War. So the androids were sent by the atheists to raise this atheist colony, and then the other faction arrives with their ark of people, which is I forget the name of their, but it's like a parallel to Christianity kind of, but it's based on like a Roman religion that it's very similar to Christianity though, and they arrive and they find the colony, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it.
That's fair. I'm a huge stickler about spoilers. I'm actually kind of a huge cunt about spoilers. So thank you.
Yeah, that I think that sets up the plot pretty well without spoiling too much.
Yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. Definitely.
Yeah, and it has a very amazing intro song. I listen to it all the time.
Is it anime good, Same level?
What do you mean anime good?
I mean, like the intro to a lot of anime gets you really fucking hype, Does it carry the same energy?
It's not so much. Well, this is a live action show, by the way. This is an anime.
Well, yeah, it can still get you excited or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's not so much hype. It's more like the intro video, I guess, that plays is more like the lore of the story. like to building up to the plot, but it's not really hype like an anime.
That's
I'm
fair.
not sure exactly how to describe it, but it's very good. I vibe with the aesthetic.
That's fair. I have a lengthy list that things keep shifting around in priority on that list. I think Star Treks have generally bumped up the list a little bit. I do have some anime on the list. I need to finish like catching up on Attack on Titan, you know, like I genuinely don't have very much free time right now. As a self-employed person, it's wild because I used to just be catatonic most of the time. Like if I wasn't at work, I was just kind of doing nothing. And now I'm like self-employed and I'm like, guys, I have shit to do. If I don't have anything to do, I'm really antsy and I need to be doing dishes or something along those lines. So I actually am gonna get really fucking burnt out if I'm not careful and deliberately take some time off.
Yeah, I am actually trying to get out of being self-employed right now.
It's a struggle, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to school right now, and I'm almost 7 months now. I've been doing DoorDash full time, but that's not working now because gas prices are being insane and it's not making financial sense for me anymore.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't think there's any vehicle you could drive that would make doing delivery work make sense right now. Like that's
Yeah,
$4 a fucking gallon.
Yeah, it was working out okay before because I drive a Prius, so I get really good gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm working less because I'm going to classes and the gas prices are going up, and I've been having repair problems with my car, so it's not making sense anymore.
Yeah, it's not just the gas, you know, you have to be compensated for the repairs as well.
Yeah, so I'm still making money, but I'm just not making enough money to keep up with the expenses I've been eating to my savings. So
yeah.
So that's fun. But I did get a call back, I think yesterday, about a job. They said they were going to call me back again because they're giving me a application to another department. So cross my fingers on that one.
Very nice. Yeah, good luck, definitely.
Yeah, but I've worked for them before, so and I'm kind of overqualified for the position, so I think I'll be good on that. But yeah, I'm just hoping they give me something because I just need a job that doesn't require me to buy gas.
I totally understand. Yeah, yeah. The other thing I had considered doing right now was like, oh, I could do food delivery because I was doing that last year. I could just go back to the same company or whatever, probably if I wanted to. But
yeah,
this is like, I'm kind of trying to see just how this month goes, you know? Like, I really don't want to do that. So let's try to get this streaming thing off the ground. But stable employment with health insurance is not something to turn your nose up at. If you can swing it, it's probably preferable.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I super appreciate you coming on, Adira. I think there's like several people waiting, so I'm gonna try to make a little bit of time.
I can see the list growing.
I know, right? And I'm probably gonna hop off here in about 2 hours or so, so I definitely want to take some extra time. But I so appreciate you coming on. I think you did pretty well at the dealing with talking to a streamer and technically like having kind of an audience during it. So good on you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I've been watching your videos for a long time, so it's just weird to be able to actually talk to you.
I am not a simulation, it turns out. I could have been. I'm not.
Yeah, it turns out people are actually like real people.
It's wild.
People are real, turns out.
As far as you know.
Dun dun dun.
It's the Matrix. I've been hacked. Don't worry about it though.
All right, well, I'll stop keeping you.
It's cool. I wish you a good night and good luck in your job search fortunes.
Yeah, thank you. Well, good luck in your streaming.
Well, thank you. Bye for now.
All right, bye.
All right. This has been so fun so far. Zephyr is actually an agent. It's true. I am part of the swarm. Okay, so the other person who I think has been waiting the longest is Fluke. And then after that, I think after that is Dizzy. And then between Jess and Idank Catlord, I don't know who joined first. But that's okay. I need to do this. Okay, I did a thing. And now I'm gonna do a thing. Hold on, I'm gonna do this. And... okay, thank you, Jess. Do 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 do. Hello, Fluke. I have brought you into the stream room. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, hello. I can, yes. Let me do some volume adjustments. And... okay. Okay, let's try that. I think that should be good.
Hello.
Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing good. It seems like you're doing good. I've been watching for a little while.
Yeah, I'm having a pretty okay night. I've been, it's like, honestly, most of this week has been pretty rough and fairly unpleasant. But I feel like tonight, at least, when I hop on stream and I get to be a little bit social with the chat and everything, first call-in stream, always quite exciting. So I'm doing a little bit better than I've been doing so far this week. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm working on moving, so that's fun.
It's a fucking project moving.
Yeah, I'm actually moving back in with my mom. I'm with a different family right now. I'm gonna move back in with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna go to school, and my mom's place is just closer to where I'm gonna be going to school, and then I'm also going to help my friend move in from Texas
Nice.
after we get me settled in. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna fly out there, and I'm gonna help her drive her stuff up across a couple states.
Nice. That is hell of a project. Like moving across state lines. Like I just moved like 5 minutes away from one like rental location to another, and it took me like over 2 months to move all of the stuff. Like it was, oh my god, such a project. So like hulking it out in like one go, truly phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this is gonna go. We've been friends for a while, but we haven't met in person yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's a trans woman. She's in Texas, and she's wanted to get out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so like this opportunity just opened up. My mom's been kind of alone in the house for a while. She used to be living with somebody else, but they left. So there's like space in the house now. So I was like, oh hey, you could come live with me and my mom and find a new space.
That would be good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like if I lived in Texas, like I don't have a child, but if I lived in Texas, I would probably just on principle want to get as far away from there as I could possibly be.
Right, yeah.
Real fast, for if I were to put your name and pronouns on the screen for if chat were to refer to you in the third person, what would you want me to put on there?
Oh, she, hers.
Okay, and then just Fluke is okay for your name?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, having not done a call-in stream before, I'm sort of just trying to cover my most basic bases as I go along. Like my thing right now is like, what small pieces of info can I just steal from how other people do things in order to improve how I do things? And I know when I watched like Demon Mama stream, for example, it's like the first thing when she brings a caller on, she's like, give me your name and pronouns now. I'm like, okay. Seems to be working out pretty well for her, so I'm just trying to see what sticks to the wall here.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, I always like to, I feel like probably everybody is like using an amalgamation of skills they learn from other people.
Yeah, I feel like as long as I'm not deliberately trying to poach anybody's audience, then tactics-wise, I don't think it matters really if I steal people's ideas, so That's just my prerogative.
Yeah. I mean, what if they stole the idea from somebody else, and then that person stole it from somebody else? Then who was originally stolen from? It's hard to
Exactly.
know.
It's like when you see some, like, okay, this is something that I think only happens to terminally online people. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, where I've seen someone make a joke, right? And then 6 months later, I see someone else has posted the same joke verbatim, word for word, but it's not a screenshot or attributed in any way. It's just the same fucking post as though they thought of it themselves. And I'm like, I saw that a year ago from someone else, you know? Like, but was the original poster even the original poster? How could I possibly know? It's such a struggle.
Yeah, that's what's kind of funny about that kind of thing is I suppose there's like a certain time frame to where you can kind of like reuse stuff from other people to where they won't notice.
Yeah, it's totally about like what you can get away with, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I usually like I feel like if I say like a joke that I like definitely heard from a comedian, I think I usually preface it by saying like, "Oh, I saw this one comedian saying this," you know, because I feel like it's kind of awkward to try to just say a joke you heard from somewhere else if you definitely know who it came from exactly. It feels good to give credit when you
Yeah, or
know
at
who to
least say
credit.
like, I don't know where I originally heard this, but it was a good observation that da 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 whatever. Like, at least admit that you're copying someone.
Yeah.
Personal prerogative, anyway. Dizzy in the chat points out sometimes the repost is someone telling their own joke again. That's also true. I cannot necessarily say that I've always double checked that it's not the same account.
Yeah.
More often than not, I think people are just. It just doesn't matter. Like, it just doesn't matter whether you repost a joke and it's a pretty low stakes. Like, everybody's made the same observations about being trans. You know, you can recycle the same jokes and get the clicks and the buttons, and you know, yeah, that's a living
Yeah.
for some people. So I guess I can't fault them too much for it.
Right. Yeah. I saw you were talking with Leftist Owl about Elden Ring earlier. I've been playing that game a lot. I really like it.
Yeah, I've been seeing so many people talk about it online. Some like the main question that I have, like the thing that I'm curious about it is like, is it a game that works without having played a whole bunch of other Souls-like games before being introduced to it? Because I'm curious, but I also don't know if it's within the purview for me of games that I would enjoy.
I think it definitely helps to play the other games. Like definitely in Elden Ring, they kind of reuse certain enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you've already fought something a bunch, you kind of know what to expect with certain things. What's weird about Elden Ring is there is a tutorial area, which I feel like is pretty comprehensive, but it's really, really easy to miss.
Oh, I've heard this, that it's like it's somewhere off to the side in like a pit.
Yeah, yeah, it's like somewhere like you know, I feel like I swear I remember when they dropped me into the game after that like boss that's like designed to kill you is like it feels like you're looking like directly out of the building that you're in to leave and go out into the world. You have to
Mhm.
like look behind you and like wander around this like dark room to find the tutorial area, which is like kind of unintuitive, I'd say.
I think, yeah, that's what I was saying when I was talking to Leftist Owl. Like, it feels like a game that sets you up to fail, and that feels really adversarial to me. I don't like feeling like the creators intended for me to fuck up and waste my time a bunch before succeeding, you know?
Yeah, well, I remember seeing something a while ago. I don't know if it was Miyazaki who had this idea for the game or what, but I think it was like From Software's goal to make a game that's like a modern version of older games,
Mm-hmm.
like hard games like Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania, where it's just unforgivingly hard. There's no like direction. They don't give you like any hints. It's just kind of designed to just be like it's just challenging and like vague with how you do things. Um, so like when that's like their whole point of the game, and like they're like the only people doing this too, so I kind of feel like it's kind of okay to have like one game series out there that's just kind of mean to you.
I mean, you know, that's totally, you know, like if you're signing up for it, if you know that that's what you're getting into, it's possible that that's just not the title for me, you know? That's totally fair.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely like like I've been playing these games for like so long that I've noticed in some way I think it's like good for you in some ways if you can
Mhm.
like deal with it, because like my level of like frustration at games when I was like a little kid, I would lose my mind
Yeah.
if I'd lose in a game, but after like so long, and especially after playing these games, I'll like die and I'll lose like so many souls and all this stuff, and I'll just be like, oh, all right.
It's a
Yeah.
healthier relationship, do you think?
Um, sorry, what again?
Like, do you feel like you have a healthier relationship now to failure in video games?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd like to think it helps with like my failure in real life too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe like when you mess something up that you really wanted, I think like the emotions taking over can kind of like, it takes time to cool down and all that. But I've noticed after playing this game and dying so much, I feel like just flipping the switch to analyzing what you did wrong to try to figure out a good way to do it next time. I feel like that's a helpful thing. But I also feel like I'm kind of weird in a way to where like I've gotten so used to like this mindset to where I need to like just like give up on something and just say that I've lost, and then instantly my mind clicks to something else, and then I understand it all of a sudden. I'll be like, I give up. I can't figure this out. And 2 seconds later I'll look at it and be like, oh, this is what I do.
That's really interesting. Like once you stop seeking the answer, your brain just resolves things for you.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It's like really little things too. Like I'll have to like text somebody and say I can't figure this out, and before they can even reply, I'll figure it out and I'll text back, oh, never mind, I figured it
Like,
out.
oops, I just needed like I guess this is kind of like the programmer's rubber ducky. Like people who write software and who write code will like have like a small object they can talk to, where they're like
Oh.
describing to the object like this is what I've written in the code and here's what's going on with it or whatever, and like somewhere in the process of talking it out loud to the this like mirror or whatever object can help, I guess, obviate the problem in a similar manner.
That makes sense. That's interesting.
You just got to get out of your head, I guess, is the fundamental idea.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like you reach a dead end in the maze. If you just back up a little bit, you might see a different way to go, I guess.
Perspective.
Yeah.
It'll do so much for you. What would you say your favorite boss has been in Elden Ring so far?
Um, there's like a lot of different ways I guess I could look at like
What
favorite.
favorite
I
means,
think
yeah.
okay, the recent boss, I guess maybe I won't say the name or too I won't get like too far into it, but I feel like people, if I kind of describe the mechanics, I feel like people would know who I'm talking about. It's like an optional boss towards the end of the game in like a hidden optional area. And the aesthetic of this boss is like is so cool. Um like as far as the look of the boss, I really like, but it's like the hardest thing in the game that I've ever seen in any of these games. It's so good that this is like an optional thing, because if this was like a required thing that you needed to get past so many, like I was losing my mind. I had like normally, like I won't look up what to do against bosses, but with this one, I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna watch like 9 other people do this and figure out what to do. And yeah, after copying like other people's strategies, I got past it, and I was like, yeah, I don't mind at all, because this is like um yeah, because she is the only boss that like heals himself,
mm.
and like that's something where it's really easy to go right in there, and if you mess up immediately, like you might like hit the boss once and then they'll hit you 3 times and you're dead, and they also have all of their health back.
Oh no.
It was crazy. It's like you can't make mistakes at all. Like, or even if you like survive that, the boss takes back the progress that you made.
Oh my god.
Like it's like the thing that I was like, this is like, I'm like impressed because I'm like, wow, you know, like it's kind of like cool how like they made something that like, because people have been playing these games for decades. There's all the speedrunners that know all the tactics. There's all sorts of people that like just go through the game naked with a stick for fun, you know. So they're like, okay, we got to make some kind of secret optional boss that's just gonna blow everyone away.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like, basically everything I hear about this game is like it is a little bit mean, but it also teaches you to earn it, and the bosses are difficult, but sometimes you just have the option to run past enemies, and like certain bosses are optional, so it's like workable. But I do think, from what I understand, references maybe that players make a lot of references that end up within your game and your playthrough that like are references to previous incarnations, like something about windmills. And how like people keep putting comments about next to the windmills, like, oh, look at these giants, because in a previous game you like had to fight windmills or something like that. I don't know. I keep getting a lot of random bullshit absorbed because I don't care about spoilers for Dark Souls, so I'll read it and I'll not have context.
Right. Yeah, it is. You know what? It's kind of funny about, like, besides the gameplay and all that, the lore of the games is pretty cool, but it's really obtuse figuring it out. Like even understanding the story is kind of like a challenge, like it's a big puzzle to put together, because they give you all the pieces, but not necessarily in the order that you find them. Like there's little pieces of like weapons or armor or items that'll have like a little description that might be the answer to something you saw in a building somewhere you were at, and then over time you figure out the story. Yeah, like Vati Vidya, he's a really cool YouTuber that puts together all these pieces to like tell you the story in like this really cool way.
That might be useful to me. Then I can just get all the lore without having to do any of the frustrating shit.
Yeah, and his like quality content. He's got like such a relaxing voice too, the way that he tells all the stuff to you. He's yeah, his whole thing is like I feel like he's like one of the biggest people that's helped keep like Dark Souls, like keep it big. I don't know. I just feel like anybody who's played the game and has looked up anything on YouTube, they'll know Vati Vidya in terms of Dark Souls. Like he's a big deal. Oh, I also saw there are streamers that promoted the game. They got a bunch of like limited edition memorabilia, like posters that there's only like 250 of. Trolley made peach rings themed after Elden Ring. They're called Elden Rings.
I saw those. I wasn't sure if that was I wasn't sure if that was real or not, like a Photoshop or not, because doesn't it have like an enemy on the packaging like stabbing one of the peach rings as though it was a person that it was stabbing to death?
Oh, I guess I didn't look real close at the packaging. I just kind of thought it was a recreation of the guy from the title, but maybe that's kind of funny.
It kind of looks like, let me just see if I can pull up a picture really fast. Peach rings, Elden Ring. Let's see if we can get a picture. Okay, peachy Elden Rings is what this says. Let me just switch over here in the Streamlabs. Oh my god, I need 3 monitors now. I have made a terrible mistake becoming a streamer because now I need 3 monitors. I've had 2 monitors for a decade, and now I need more. So yeah, it says like peachy Elden Rings, and then like there is a peach ring on the packaging that has googly eyes on it, and it's being stabbed through. That's so funny. It's really absurd.
I never noticed that.
I was like, that seems like something that I don't know that you should just have on like packaging that is like eye level for toddlers, you know? I don't know. It's just my perspective.
Wow, that's so funny.
Incredible. Like truly, truly impeccable.
So I love how like it feels like FromSoft has a sense of humor too. Like as dark and like as punishing as the games are, there are like some funny moments sometimes.
Yeah, there's personally I feel there's a fine line there between like, you know, laughing with the player and laughing at the player. I'm sensitive to being made fun of, I guess, is what we're learning about me in this stream. But yes, I get the impression that it can be somewhat comical. Like some of the like fall to your deaths can be quite comical, and just some of the circumstances upon which you die are rather nonsensical.
Yeah, like I catch myself occasionally. Some of the ways I die in the game just like crack me up because of like the circumstances of it. It can just be funny. Just like to like take a step back and like watch it from like your own third person to just see like what happened.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I am
What?
ready to take another bathroom break. So
Right.
I'm going to step away for a minute and then come back and I guess give Dizzy a chance to come on because Dizzy's been waiting for a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, no worries. It was so cool talking with you. I've been watching your videos for a long time. This has been really fun. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you for obviously for watching the videos. Thank you for hanging out here in the streams. It is so nice to get to talk to people who are just like, hey, I like you and I'm nice. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's be nice to each other. That sounds like a good way to spend an evening.
Yeah. Awesome. It was so fun. Okay. Well, I guess I'll let you go
Thank
and let you
you.
talk to other people. So,
Yeah.
have a good night.
Have a good rest of your night. We'll probably talk to you at some point later if you ever want to hop
Yeah.
back on.
Yeah, I'll probably be around.
All right, later. Have a good night.
Later. Bye.
Oh my god, I just dropped something on the floor. Ah! Oh, there it is. I have a bunch of hairpins on my desk because I use them as stitch markers when I'm crocheting. So, I'm sorry, what? What need do high roller unicorn lesbians have for pants? I mean, I guess if you're a high roller unicorn lesbian, is that like when you just are a really pricey lesbian sex worker who like is a pillow princess? Is that is that what that is? Oh my god, I have to refill this cup with water and run to the other room real fast. And then I would love to have Dizzy on to chat. It's 10:40. And I am probably going to get real tired. Well, actually, I slept pretty good last night, so I have not backread any of chat. Oh my god, it's true. I saw that you were saying something about Don Quixote. Do I really need to bring Dizzy on? Hearing a rant about pants with visuals this time, I see. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, we'll take off the guest thing. And we will do this. Okay. I will be right biggity back. Oh yeah, Chuck Tingle. I am aware of Chuck Tingle. I have not actually looked into any of the work that he's done. I've done something very rude. I have done something very rude. And I know that chat is only going to reward me for this mean thing that I've done. I have done something so mean. I know. I picked up a cat. Hey, Lucy. I did. Well, to be fair, someone else had just petted him. So he was already kind of like... I walked past and he was like... He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, you know what I'm doing is picking you up even though you don't want to be picked up. He is very sweet. Lucy. Lucy. You know, sometimes Lucy is really, like, he acts super clingy. And I'm like, dude, get the fuck away from me. But I also noticed that he does that on days where I kind of feel like hot garbage. And I'm like, is he trying to make me feel better? And he just doesn't know that I really need space on the days where I feel like hot garbage? Because the trouble is that I need more relationships in my life that are mutually beneficial. Like, relationships where I actually get something out of the relationship. And it kind of feels like, for the most part, this guy is a vampire who just constantly wants something from me. Which is like, if I only have a handful of relationships, really. And 2 of them are cats that want shit from me constantly. It's not, like, healthy. So, like, yesterday morning, oh my god, I was really impatient with these guys. I was like, can you get the fuck away from me? Like, completely and totally get away from me. It was not my best showing of cat owner, but I was just loud. That was it. We have a Lucy. This is my nails hand. So, by the way, just a reminder for everybody, only 14 viewers here, so maybe it doesn't matter, but if we get to $400 tonight, and we're ending this goal after tonight, whether we get there or not, I'm ready to move on. This is the last stream where I'm building up monies to help Demon Mama with her groceries. I will try to play my guitar and sing at the same time, which I actually pulled off a little bit the other day. I tried it for the first time in a long time, and I managed to do it a little bit. The first try, and then for the rest of the session, as I tried to do it, I kept fucking up. So I'm probably going to mess up, and it's going to be funny, and that's why we're doing it. But we're going to have to reset it after tonight. We're going to have to reset the goal. Because this has been an ongoing goal for like half of this week, you know? So, let me get my... Oh, actually, let me grab my water, because I left the water over here. I had a kitty, and I left the water. Oh, it's also worth saying, I need to figure out if there's somewhere that I can display this prominently, but I'm going to try to lock in a schedule where I stream on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on and off on Saturdays. So I want to have 3, like, guaranteed days a week where, like, Tuesday and Thursday is going to be, like, definitely in the evening US time. And then Sundays will be earlier in the day. And then Saturdays will just be, like, if I decide to stream, I'll go ahead and stream. Turn on notifications. Yeah, my pinned tweet right now is, like, birthday links. I don't know how helpful that is. By the way, also, it is my birthday month. If anybody is interested in becoming a patron or shooting me a donation or buying anything off of the Amazon lists in the description of the YouTube video. All of those things are appreciated. If you want to give me happy birthday, which is at the end of this month, yeah, I need to definitely put a whole bunch of stuff in the server, in the Discord server. I do have a link tree that I need to edit up a bit. A spring baby. It's true. I'm trying to increase my decorations over here that are spring related. I've been trying all day to like check this out. Oh, wait, I guess it's kind of like, okay, look at this. I had made something and then had to unravel it a couple times because I couldn't find a fucking pattern that would just work. It was so annoying. I would start working up a pattern and then like I don't like having to follow someone's video, but they usually make you pay for the written pattern. I'm like, please just give me fucking 10 steps in a written pattern and don't make me watch your 40-minute video. It's so frustrating. And it just kept, like, I don't know exactly what kept happening. Like, I just kept running into issues, and I was like, can you please just write this down so that I don't have to comb through your video to try to figure out what I did wrong? Granted, people who come up with their own independent crochet patterns, like, they make them up whole cloth, obviously deserve to get paid, but I am poor. I just want to crochet the flowers and get on with my life. And then, because I have the vase, which I put back there, because, like, oh, you can't really see it right now. Hold on, let me take the text down real quick. This is a daffodil, which I crocheted. I crocheted that daffodil, and I like to crochet flowers. It's something that I do pretty regularly, and so I was hoping to crochet some tulips and maybe a couple daffodils to put in this, but I can't find any fucking tulip patterns that I want to use. I think I may have landed on one finally. I started working on it before I was going to stream, but then I was like, well, I'm going to stream. So, let me put this back up. Patreon. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Just going to trigger that. Oh, look at that. Subscribe. Click the bell. Join my Patreon. Don't forget to check your YouTube notifications as well as your channel notifications. Yeah, just fuck around with the yarn till stuff happens. That's kind of what I do. I'm really bad at, like, getting most of the way through a project and then literally only having, like, 5% left and just stopping. I'm just brutally terrible about that. Trying to work on it a little bit. I got through this, you know, like, this daffodil, and then there's just all these strings that I needed to take care of, and I was like, how about if I didn't do that? This is really soft yarn, though. Those acrylics, they're quite soft. I have so much yarn. I have too much yarn. I really don't need as much yarn as I have. That's part of why I'm trying to restrict myself. Listen, Mersh, I am a perfectionist. I'm a terrible perfectionist. Anyway, we have been stunlocked long enough, and several people are waiting to come in and chitty chat with us. So, we get a drink of water. Hello, Dizzy. Are you here?
Let's see. There we go.
Hello.
Can you see my screen? Did it get yeeted?
I don't have the screen open right now. Oh, there it is. I can't see your screen, even though I do have the screens open.
Just a sec.
Excuse me.
Ta-da! Behold.
Oh my goodness.
It's a person.
Oh, can I show this? Hold on.
Yes, that's the aim. The aim is that I provide a visual aid for you to follow along with while we go through the history of pants in Europe.
Okay, hold on. Let me I gotta just switch some stuff around really quick. Put this over here, and we'll switch this to here. Okay, and now I can see this beautiful... Now, I and everyone in the chat can see this beautiful rendition. I'm so ready to buckle in.
Okay, so whenever people complain that men need to wear pants, I think that they're full of absolute puffery and absolute nonsense. Because historically, men did not wear pants. Men wore these dumb little things in Europe for quite a while. They were like these little linen yippee-doos that they tied around. These are called brays, and they wear them and they cover their thing. But there's like, oh, there's just like an awkward lump there. That'd be really unsightly to have that. So what we do is we wear a tunic on top of that. That's it
It's
comes
long.
down.
It covers.
And we have and we have this. So this is your tunic, and you have it like this, and it's belted,
Yep.
and you can't see any of this shit. No, that's all underneath. But then how do you keep your legs warm in winter? You don't have pants because you don't know how to sew a crotch. And that would be really, really uncomfortable if you had a tight crotch, crushing the stuff. Bad all around. So what they did was they would wear hose. And hose are basically, they're socks. They're long socks. They're actually sock shoes because they have little soles in them sewn into the bottom. And they go up, and they go up, and they go up, they go up, they go up.
I didn't know that about hose. That's pretty cool.
And they go up, and then they stop like right about here. So they're basically thigh-high socks. You have thigh-high socks. And you have your undies, and they're like this. Your tighty whiteies. And they're not really tight, but to keep these up, to keep the hose up, you have to belt them to your brace. So you have these little garters holding up your hose. This is what men used to wear.
Perfectly tracks so far.
They used to wear thigh-high socks and garters, so that their thigh highs wouldn't fall down.
Practical.
Very, very practical. This is masculinity. This is masculinity, everybody. And I want you to understand, this is what men wore. If we want to go back in time, return to the original masculinity, we need to have thigh-high socks on men and skirts.
Do we have a year for this? Like an estimated time period?
I believe this is about the 14th century.
Perfect.
And what's funny is as time goes on, you evolve from this dealio of linen berets where they have like this loose bit of white fabric, and it's awkward because if you have an erection, you can see through it. So as the shirts got shorter and men started wearing shirts that were more like this, and they're tight like that, ha 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 ha, puffy sleeves. This is your shirt type. They're like, well, now the hose comes up and it doesn't cover that. So, well, I guess we bring the hose all the way up and have it cover the tush. So now we have skin tight hose and it covers the tush, and they sew it in the back. And then it's like this, but they don't know how to build the crotch still.
Is this where give birth to the cod piece?
This is where we come in with the cod piece, and this is how the cod piece happens, is
Amazing.
that we have no fucking idea how to make a crotch. So as the socks get longer and they attach behind the butt, you have to figure out some way to make this work. So they literally would tie their jerkin to their hose, which are up. Cat, go away. Which are like, and they're like laced together, so this doesn't come off. This whole ensemble is hard to get into and doesn't come off easily.
Yeah.
So this is now the fashion, and over time they're like, okay, well this is impractical. So then what happens is you gradually end up with, oh, that's a bad color. That color's not going to work. Give me a different color. Thank you. We get up to believe it's the 18th century, and the pants are still evolving. Now the cod piece is a flap, and so it works like this, and there's pockets here, and this is pants. This is pants now, and they work like this, and they still don't know how to do like a well-fitted pair of pants. So
We're really
these are
trying to deal with
really
the penis problem. Like, it's
These-
really an
yes.
inconvenience.
it's a grave inconvenience to pants, and they would not make the pants come all the way down, because that was not bougie enough. No, they would wear socks, but they wouldn't wear socks. They would not wear socks that were knitted. Their stockings would be woven fabric, so they would be like really super stiff and uncomfortable. And this is the socks, and they would have to tie them like up over the knee.
Yeah. Oh man. That's
And it was just this is aristocratic people's uncomfortable bullshit. And this is where you get the buckled shoes situation. And it's like, these are men's shoes. These are men's shoes with the heel, the fancy men's shoes with the heel. These are masculine. This is the height of masculinity, I need you to understand, is these pumps. These pumps are very manly.
True.
They will have little floral decorations on them, and they will be brightly colored, and they will have like a 1-inch heel. You know, you'll have pumps that'll look like this. This is
That is the style.
These are men's shoes. They're for men. Understand? This is masculine. This
They
is
give
very,
you a little
very
bit of height,
important.
you know?
Very masculine. Yes, and it adds to the height. This is masculine clothing, okay? So pumps, also very masculine. Skirts, masculine. Tunics, basically a dress. It's a dress or a skirt. It's masculine. Tights, they're not tights. They're thigh-high socks. They're thigh-high socks, and they're held to the underwear with garters. This, my friends, is the height of archaic masculinity. And now it's the most masculine thing of all is to combine all of these. Combine all of this. Men need to be wearing pumps, and they need to be wearing their thigh-high socks, and they
And garter belts.
Yes, I can't do this anymore.
I've been into it. I've been like hanging on every word.
This was the result of me. I spent like my teenage years doing all of this kind of why did I erase that? I can just turn the layer off. All this kind of research into men's clothing, and this whole thing that we have with jeans where it's like this, and it's like awkward, and like the pants and they flare out like this. We didn't know how to make this seam for the longest time. This seam is very difficult to make.
Yeah.
And it's funny shaped. So pants just did not look like that.
Pants were just not pants for a long time.
Pants were not pants. They were socks that crept up the leg, and then the socks came up the leg, and they tied to the underwear, and then they joined in the back, and then they were like, well, let's bring the fabric around the front, but we have to cover that area, so we're just gonna stick a cod piece, and hey, now let's attach the cod piece on the bottom, and okay, these are pants now, and I guess we can do this, and the thing is gonna be up in the front, and we're gonna have the flap fold up, and this is how it works, and then it's just like, people are like, oh, these are pants. This is masculinity. It's like, no, this is one incarnation of leggy coverings in a long line of stupid leggy coverings.
It's true. I was about to say, like, I feel like if we had skipped the component where we were trying to keep the penis separate from the rest of the contraptions, that the pants would have come along a lot sooner. But I guess like part of the reason why it happened the way it happened was that when you got your clothes put on, it was kind of hard to like take them off and put them back on again, because like there wasn't anything like elastic, like there weren't polyesters, like the clothing was not very flexible. So I imagine like once it was fastened in place, it's like when I go to the Renaissance Festival, you know, it's like a huge pain in my ass to take all my fucking clothes apart to go take a piss, you know, every couple hours or whatever.
Yeah. This is actually why women didn't wear underwear. Because they would have on. You know what? We're just gonna keep using him.
Yeah,
He
do
can,
it.
he can wear a dress. Women would have lots and lots of layers. They would have usually a chemise, which would be the base layer, and it would be underneath everything else. And on top of that, there would be stays or a corset. And this would be the basis. Like here's your chemise, and it comes down like this, and the corset's being tied on top, and you have
And these are
baskets.
both considered underwear.
Yes,
They're both
you would
undergarments.
not see. None of this would be seen, and so over that would go like a petticoat, and then you would also have women would often wear like padding to pad out the layers of I believe this is called a bum roll, to pad out the hips so that it flares wider. And there's just petticoats and petticoats and more petticoats, lots and lots and lots of petticoats. So you're wearing like a ton of fabric layers at this point, and then a blouse goes over top. And the blouse and the skirt are often like separate pieces, and they're like pinned in place in like, this is like the 1700s ish. And so there's like that, and they're often wearing like this shawl thing and then a hat. Fuck. This is a hat. It's a hat now.
Just assume that it has the feathers of a bird that we tried to make extinct by making hats out of them.
Yes. And so this is all extremely, it's all tied here. So the only way these layers are coming off in order to be able to pee is you have to pick them up. You have to lift them up. So if you have like underwear here, that's going to be really inconvenient if you go pee. So what they would do is they just wouldn't wear underwear. And if they had to pee, they would take the chamber pot and they would pick it up under the skirt and hold it, and they would pee into it that way while standing up.
Just like good, they just got their leg out.
It's like the original stand pee.
Yeah, for real. That's astounding. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because otherwise you're going to have the incredible inconvenience of lifting all of these skirts off and then undoing the underwear that's like underneath there. And this is made worse by the fact that people did have periods and they did have to deal with the periods.
Yeah, so, that's the one thing
that would get in the way.
That's the one thing that you run into when you have that setup. I think this is probably true for people who are also like post like having a neo-vagina installed, but like there are juices that like just occur, and so
there should not be.
Like discharge is just a regular occurrence that I think is pretty normal, like not like an excessive amount of discharge, right? But like but if you just run around without underwear, there's just no catch system unless you're just sitting down on the skirts, I guess. Like
that's what the chemise is for, technically. Yeah. That's what the chemise is. It's covering everything, so it's not, your petticoats aren't going to end up touching everything. There's the chemise. That's why it's underwear.
And that's why it goes down to the knees. It's your protective layer. Yeah.
It's your protective goop. Anti-goop.
It's your anti-goop layer.
It's the anti-goop nightgown, underwear, under slip.
Unfortunately for everyone in chat, like I am just gonna be the kind of person who talks fairly openly about this kind of stuff. It's the anti-goop layer. But listen, I understand. I respect the chemise. Like, I cannot imagine, like, trying to pull down underwear, like trying to pull down a set of fucking bloomers when you're wearing all these layers.
Actually, here's the thing about bloomers. They weren't sewn in the crotch.
Really?
Yes.
A bloomer was like a skirt, like an underskirt kind of thing?
No, here, I have to, the bloomers, and they would be sewn from multiple panels. So you would have this panel and this panel, and there'd either be a back panel or this would wrap around. And so here's your bloomers, and you have a seams here, and there's this crotch part.
Mm-hmm.
This is open.
Oh, interesting. So it's just a free bleed situation?
Yeah, so there's a slit, and it's for the same reason as not wearing underwear that
so you don't have to pull them down.
Yes.
They're crotchless.
They're crotchless.
Oh, that's fucking genius. That's incredible. The bloomers that I've had have not been crotchless. That would certainly make some things a lot easier.
if you're wearing bloomers with a crotch in them, those are not historically.
They're not historical bloomers. Yeah, I guess
They're not historical bloomers.
Maybe, I don't know. Is there a different, maybe something else you would call them in fashion wise? Like the ones that I had. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have elastic bands, but they had like an elastic around the waist and then elastics like around they were about knee length, you know, and they were kind of baggy, and they definitely had a crotch.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I think a lot of people don't watch like historical costumers, so they don't know what the fuck these various pieces of clothing are made from. Like, what is it? I think what Bernadette Banner called it was a set of combinations. Is like, technically bloomers are let's go back to the dude for a minute. There he is. Bloomers are the pants for women that they're gathered at the waist and then they flare out like this, and then they're like tight
cinched
here.
Again.
These are technically.
Oh, but they go all the way down, like they hug the calf. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think typically they would wear boots with spats and then have like this. These are bloomers.
I see. Okay.
And I believe they're named after, like, I think her name was Amelia Bloomer. This was part of the history of reform dress, when women were trying to make clothes that were more comfortable. You can do more things. You can ride a bike easier in these. It doesn't tend to get caught in the machinery as you're moving. This is also historically why women's bicycles look different. Why when you look at a bicycle frame, old-timey bicycles for men look like this, and bicycles for women would have this part of the frame and this, but they would do like that, and here's the seat.
Okay, and that's
it was
because
so
of
that
their
the
pants?
woman. It was so that she could step over it with her skirt.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the skirt wasn't being interrupted by this bar here.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Bloomers allow women to not have to deal with that. You could ride this bicycle with this frame, instead of having to use this frame so it doesn't mess with the skirt. That was the wrong layer.
Oops.
Where was I going? Oh, but this is what bloomers are. They're these things. The underwear that you pull on that people typically think of as bloomers were called drawers. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. It was a set of combinations, or a combination of drawers, I think is how it's said. But those were open at the crotch, and I think they were open at the crotch for like always. Like, that's just how they were.
You know, it's like, I think that the open crotch would be useful, but like not now, actually, because now, like, that we don't have chamber pots. There is no bringing the toilet up to your crotch level.
Yes.
So like
You have to sit down.
you'd have to sit or hover. But then you have all these skirts that you're trying to hold up while you hover. Here's my thing. What I do at the Renaissance Festival is I'm usually wearing a skirt, so it's a two-piece, or pants. And so the only I guess the major issue is that I wear a belt that, because you're not allowed to have pockets. By the way, it's not period to have pockets at a Renaissance Festival. So you have to wear
Fuck that. No, you wear
pouches. You buy leather pouches to wear on your belt.
You don't have to have leather ones. You can have
Well, if you
Oh,
know,
God,
if you're
I'm so
friends
mad.
with a bunch of leather workers who you want to support their businesses, you end up with a bunch of leather
Sure.
pouches.
Sure. But if you have what you have is Game Fish is right. Ren fairs aren't about being period accurate.
if you work for the festival, they will restrict your access if you don't do it correctly.
whatever barbarian naked top not wearing your dome breasted historically accurate.
You have to at least be trying. Different festivals are more stringent. Like the festival that I'm at will let teenagers with braces work at the food booths. I know that there are other festivals that will not let teenagers with braces work at the food booths. So it depends
This
on where
is
you live.
ableist. This is ableist.
A little bit, yeah. I have to get my 3D printer working so that I can 3D print some ocarinas to potentially sell at my local Renaissance Festival this year, because apparently they let you sell 3D printed products at a Renaissance Festival.
It's not historically accurate. It's just vibes.
It's just vibes.
It's
It
just
really is.
fucking vibes. It's literally just, we don't actually care how the clothes work.
There
This
is
is
a TARDIS that is a part of a permanent fixture at the Renaissance Festival that I like to go to. It's all vibes.
This is just it's not like, this is something that I recall from whenever you pick up a novel that's not written by a history enthusiast, but it's in that historical, that romantically imagined historical romance drama.
Yeah.
So really poorly researched. They don't understand what period they're writing in, and so they'll talk about corsets, and they won't understand what types of corsets are used in different eras. And they won't understand which skirt fluffing undergarments go in which period. And they'll also talk about how, corsets and tight lacing and blah, 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 blah. And it's if you tight lace, it's going to hurt. But corsets that are well fitted are not supposed to do that. The corset is meant to take in the waist a little bit here. And then much of what the corset actually does is create the shape through padding. So it's like this, and here's the corset, and it's doing this thing. And then we achieve the hourglass silhouette by adding a flare on the hips.
Yeah, there's
So
extra
it
fabric
looks-
there.
So it looks way more
It's
like the
exaggerated.
waist. Like the waist is thin than it actually is. This would be like an evening gown, I guess. This is not, I'm not bothering with
Is the main difference between a bodice and a corset that a bodice can be outerwear?
I think so,
'Cause
yes.
Do you have me up on screen? Can you see me? If
Yeah, I
showed
can see
something?
you.
Okay, because I have a bodice that happens to be right next to me right now. This is one that I bought this year, and this is outerwear. It's reversible, so I have the gray corduroy side and then the flowery side, and this is meant to be worn more like a vest, and it stops at the end of my ribs, and it's kind of more for boobies.
Yeah, that's that is I am right. It's called a kirtle.
A kirtle.
Well, it's like a thing. it was worn over a chemise. It's a dress that laces up. I'm about to post a picture in chat. It's like this. And then from that,
I've seen a lot of those, yeah.
From that, we would have bodices derived, and these were, I believe, usually more often working women's outerwear. Because you can't, you don't have time for all of this fancy schmancy schmuckery.
Yeah.
This is rich people clothing. And the thing is too that we often will remember historically what the wealthy were doing and wearing and thinking.
You'll have
and
more
all
record
that.
of that, yeah.
Yes, because people don't have time or interest to write about what the filthy poors are doing.
Yes, 'tis a struggle.
Brain blanking. Well, that is the I'm gonna fucking click the wrong button.
Whoops-do.
Stop streaming without disconnecting.
There you go.
I want to click the X. No, that hangs me up. But I want to click the X. No, that hangs you up. Okay, how do I undo screen? Don't click the X.
The
Don't
struggle
click
is
the X.
real. Yeah.
I want to push the button. I want to push the button that ends the world.
It's like that happens to me a lot when I'm trying to check out somewhere. Like the Target one messes me up the most, where I'm paying with my card and the screen where it asks if I want cash back, like you could hit like, no, I don't want cash back, or you could hit cancel, and so like your brain goes cancel, but then that cancels your whole card transaction and you have to stick your card in all over.
It's just like, which of the do not buttons do I push? I want some of the things to end, but I do not want all of the things to end. Please do not end all of the things. I only want to end one of the things.
Yeah, it really tests my reading comprehension in the Target at fucking 11 p.m.
What if I push the self-destruct button? Boop.
Oh my gosh, small dogs.
That's Mossy. Mossy, why are you squeaking, baby?
Mossy.
Mossy. She's baby. She will get bigger. Yeah, you're not as ear piercing this week as you were a while ago. She probably wants food. Mossy, you're being so rude. So rude. Well, we're not going to have any more, so that's probably it from me. I have to go feed noisy baby.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens. It calls the end of the stream sometimes. Dogs are fucking annoying, and I'm really glad that I don't have one.
Babies have to be fed. Alright, this was good and fun, and I had a very fun time teaching you all how clothes and gender are stupid.
Yeah, bye. Thanks. Okay. Now Jess, whose patience has outlasted several people leaving the waiting room. I don't really need to, like, give you the new role. I can just move you over. Hello, it's Jess. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, how are you today?
I am doing alright.
I haven't heard your voice in a while. I don't think we've done a voice call in a minute, so that's cool.
Yeah, it has been a very long time.
I'm a bad friend. It's okay. I'm willing to own up to it.
No, you're just a busy friend.
It's true. It's true. It's weird to be busy. Because, like I say, like, a lot of the time, like, most of my time for the past several years is mostly just being like, wow, I'm fucking just catatonic, and I cannot function, really. And now I'm actually, like, doing stuff, and it's genuinely like, what do you mean, did I play a video game this week? I did not have time for that.
Mood.
It's good to make time, though. I'm trying to... It's like, I'm... First of all, I force quit. Like, I did not have an option this week. Because I've been, sadly, on my period, and it lays me the fuck out, and I've not been very functional for the last several days. And before that, I was just experiencing regular burnout from having been working constantly for the past several months. So, I'm trying to ease back in. I've definitely lost productivity the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been very productive, except for, at work. But
Yeah.
all I do is pick things up and put things down in a different spot at work. That's what I do.
I mean, that can be pretty
Scan
draining.
things.
If there are
Not
people who...
actually that draining. I like it. It's just doing it night shift and not having a life.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it to you. If you're not suited for the night shift schedule, I did it for like 3 years, and it was not a good time.
It's fine for my sleep schedule. It just sucks for doing things with people.
Yeah, like, the struggle I had was, and I flip-flopped back and forth a couple times, was like, I'm either gonna sleep during the day so that I have the opportunity to hang out with people in the evening, but not be able to conduct any business because I'm asleep during business hours, or the other way around. I'm sleeping in the evening, daytime, I'm getting like errands done and everything, but and not hanging out with any of my friends. Like, oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But that's why we have the internet, I guess.
The internet, it's a pretty good thing after all.
Just gotta make friends in the appropriate time zone. Just pretend to be British. Just, oi, governor. They'll never tell.
The appropriate time zone for me right now would probably be Australia.
Yeah, like 14 hours or something like that.
Because I would normally be getting off work 6 hours from now. Today I don't work, but 6 hours from now. And so Australia, that's about 5 p.m.
Yeah. Something that I have a friend who was like in a recently long distance relationship with someone in Australia, and I was like, yeah, so it's like 16 hours ahead, right? And he was like, it's easier if you think about it more like it's 7 hours ago tomorrow. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Exactly.
Never thought of it that way. I thought that I was such a genius when I started just thinking about it in terms of like your plus or minus GMT. So like the person that I make a podcast with is in 0 GMT. I'm in like -6 GMT, and someone I know in Australia is in like +14 GMT, and then that's how I like figure it out referentially.
So I think for a bit now you're after tonight you're gonna be -5 instead of -6 because of daylight savings.
Does GMT not change during daylight
It
savings?
does, but later. So
Oh.
it'll be like a couple weeks or a month or something.
This is why I just gave up a while ago, and I just started saying like this time US Central, and like not declaring whether it was daylight savings, like right now. You figure out the math.
Yes, exactly.
What have you been up to? Anything else exciting lately? You've got work and
I got
that's
a new
basically it,
haircut.
right? New haircut. Yes, I saw you posted a picture. That's really good stuff.
Did you see the more recent better picture?
I don't know if I did.
It's the one that I posted. Oh well, it doesn't matter. You'll see it eventually if you haven't.
Like, I think I saw one where you were seated on upon a couch. This is the most recent one that I saw. Oh, I see. Yes, it is a bed. It's your profile picture.
Yes.
Wowee. You don't post on Facebook very much. It's like all of your posts on Facebook recently are just like updated your profile picture once every few months.
Yeah, that's all I do on Facebook. Is I'll go there, I'll update my profile picture, and then do absolutely nothing else.
It's not
Facebook
worth
is
it.
dumb.
It suppresses so badly. Like, I mean, I think that you may have seen my post where I was like, wowie, like, Facebook, like, showing God and fucking everybody my vague post about my name change when I was not ready to tell anybody what my new name was. Like, but meanwhile, I post, like, 5 times in a 1-hour period about, like, genocide against trans people in my country where I was born, and it doesn't show that shit to fucking anybody. Like, Facebook is such a useless platform for anything actually substantive.
Facebook is not good.
Yeah. Do you want engagement? Just post selfies. You'll get so much engagement on those selfies. I'm actually like thinking about like just putting a new profile picture up, and in the description of the profile picture being like, by the way, there's fucking genocide against trans people going on right now. Like, maybe tricking the algorithm into showing people something. I don't know.
That could be fun.
It's just frustrating. Not that Twitter is a lot better. I feel like I'm complaining about social media a lot just because I'm like, you're my friend, and I'm about to just complain about personal gripes I have with social media, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, Twitter's not amazing either. It helps for me, putting everything in the latest tweets. I hate that that's not the default.
Yeah, I switched it too, yeah.
But it also helps for me that I only follow like 20 accounts.
Oh yeah, I think my follows are like at almost 500. I need to go through and pare it down, I think, a little bit.
That is entirely unmanageable.
I think a lot of them are inactive, you know? I imagine that a lot of them are inactive, at least. Well, did you have anything else, like anything in particular you wanted to, you know, talk over, rattle my cage about, bother me with? Because I don't have any ideas.
I didn't really come in with any
all
ideas.
good.
I just wanted to come in and say hi because it's your first call-in stream.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And I appreciate you being helpful and supportive in general as my friend for the last couple of years, and just like voluntarily moderating, even though there's like absolutely no compulsion for you to do that. Like, it's just super nice of you, and I like having you around, even even if you didn't do stuff for me. I like acts of service. I still like having you around.
I like being around.
That's good. That's like the magic of good relationships, is one person's like, wowee, it's amazing that you want to be around me, and the other person's like, well, I do. That's pretty much how it goes. If you're lucky, at least. If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually like, I might have to be very disappointing to Dank Catlord, who popped back into the waiting room, because I'm actually getting super heckin' tired right now.
That sucks.
I know, it happens. I mean, so it's my fault for maintaining a roughly midnight to 7:30 a.m. sleep schedule, despite the fact that I don't have a job that requires me to wake up that early. It's, you know, my partner wakes up on the weekday and we make coffee in the morning, and we both wake up and like drink from the same pot of coffee instead of like I have to wait for the coffee pot to cool down so that I can make a second pot of coffee after he's gone, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just, it works out.
Yeah. And then also with daylight savings, I think technically it's an hour later than it actually is right now.
I think
Or
it's,
will be.
yeah, it's tonight. Like, so tonight at 2 a.m., it's going to reset. So, like, yeah, so I guess it would have been good for me to go to bed earlier tonight because everybody is going to lose an hour tonight.
Yeah, you've already stayed up an extra hour.
I know, yeah, basically, like, I've already lost that time. Unless I just commit to sleeping in until 10 tomorrow, which is like an hour extra, like, you know, if I normally wake up around 8, it would be 9. I'm gonna just sleep in until 10. Just take the extra hour. I can't do that. I'm supposed to stream at 12. Fuck. I made the mistake of posting a photo of a stream schedule, and now I have to actually be an adult and, like, follow through because it's my job.
Say, oh no, I meant New Zealand time.
Yeah, sure. So it'll actually be today, earlier today, because 12 p.m. Sunday would have been earlier today in New Zealand.
Yeah, they missed it.
I missed it,
Their
you know?
fault.
Tragic.
Yeah.
You should have set your calendar better. Fucking plebs. With the reading comprehension. Okay. I'm gonna, I guess, go ahead and leave stream room and maybe take a second to respond to a couple chat things, and then I'm ready to go to sleepy time.
It looks like Stefan on YouTube has a question.
I did,
They wanna
yeah.
ask.
I saw that. I figured if they were still here, I would let them have an opportunity to ask their question, and then I would dip.
All right. Well, it was nice chatting.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thank you for coming in, and I hope you also have a good rest of your night, and that you sleep well whenever that happens for you.
In like 10 hours.
In like 10 hours. Well, have a good rest of your night then. Enjoy. Do something fun.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I do want to say, yeah, there's no more kobold versus horde debate. There is only hordes. I made an executive decision that I just think that that's the thing that's most appropriate and most cute. So you are the hordes, or my horde, however you want to put that. And now that I'm paying full attention, I want to say hello to BN, who's a member in the YouTube chat. Thank you for popping around, BN. My hoarded horde, it's true. Stefan Bernal, if you're still in the YouTube chat, I have another few minutes to answer your question if you want to post it in the chat. I was finishing up with my call-in stream, but you are welcome to post your question in the chat. Yes, thank you, Dream, for coming in. Thank you, Mersh, for being here. Thank you, Dank Catlord. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna bring you into the call this time. Maybe we'll do it next time. I have a stream scheduled tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central. Mersh, you've been having a lot of fun at the cigar shop lately. It sounds fun. Hordes represent. Okay, I don't think Stefan is still here. I don't think Stefan hung around. We've certainly dropped down to a pretty low number of viewers. I am really excited to do our, like, the next time we get, like, a chud, and then we get to have, like, a violent blood sports. I'm really excited to do blood sports, y'all. Did you know that I wanted to do blood sports? Did you know that I am a person who wants to do blood sports a little bit? I think it could be fun. Mostly because I'm jealous of, like, I don't know. One of the things I really like about Vosh is that sometimes, like, so speaking of this, I guess I'll speak for a minute about this Vosh versus J.K. Rowling on Twitter. Luxander's opinion about Vosh's casual sexism towards J.K. Rowling, whether that's good, all that shit. My opinion on this is that I think it's, to be fair, like, I think that there is a difference between something that is trying to be effective to change people's minds and something that is trying to be effective to produce unity and catharsis within the in-group, right? I think that when Vosh he did not tag J.K. Rowling. He was just talking about her, if I'm remembering correctly. Vosh just was talking about her and said she could have been a beloved author for the rest of her days until she died if she had just, like, women should learn to shut up and apologize challenge, or women should be more quiet and apologize, whatever he said. Vosh's commentary on that, like, it's different if you tag someone in. Like, we all understand. Like, we know what snitch tagging is, right? Snitch tagging is when you are subtweeting about someone, when you're vague posting about someone, and then, like, you didn't explicitly call them out by name, though, and then someone else tags them in and is like, hey, this person is talking about you. So, like, you would either have to be name searching to find the name, and people do censor names specifically to avoid personas and accounts who name search. But it's different. It like, the intent for the comment to be directed at the person. Yeah, no, you're right, Gayfish. He said her name, but either she was name searching or someone brought it to her attention for her. So his comment was not trying to do an activism at J.K. Rowling in order to change her name. Vosh was tweeting to his own audience about J.K. Rowling. And so, yes, he's been letting himself be a little bit edgier lately. He kind of, like, overcorrected at one point, I guess, and is sort of, like, balancing back out somewhere in the middle right now. So we're getting a little bit of, like, Vosh edginess, and I think that makes perfect sense for him to be tweeting to his own audience. I mean, to an extent, I guess you could say it's a little bit of a virtue signal. It's a little bit of a, like, just saying something funny and whatever to his audience at J.K. Rowling's expense. He's building up his brand at the expense of J.K. Rowling, and I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm not saying he's building up his brand as a criticism, you know? Like, I do things that are for the purpose of building my brand and for the purpose of something else, like, a lot of the time. You know? There's a lot of examples that come to mind, so it's hard to pare it down. I agree, Dizzy. Yeah, Rowling uses her womanhood as a bludgeon to oppress others. I found it funny and cathartic to hear him twist feminist rhetoric to mock the fact that she is not silenced, she is the silencer. I've been defending the joke to people who insist saying women shut up is genuinely harmful to all women, which is mildly maddening. See, I kind of viewed it as a joke that was like, I guess let's pull up the tweet to be explicit about what he said. Let's try to be specific, because I want to remember what exactly it was that he said. I have that coveted Vosh follow. I don't even remember when he followed me, TBH. It was a while ago. But that's because I was participating in the communities pretty heavily for a while, and then I backed out of it for like 2 years. Wow, it really was like 2 years. That's really sad. I'm glad that I'm getting back into it. And, like, establishing community, being around people, making friends. Let's see. Okay. Looks like we're gonna stop at 294 or whatever it ends up being after this stream. Because after tonight, I'm gonna stop doing this raising money to try to help Demon Mama thing. It's been like 3 streams, you know. I'm just ready to chill on it. Anyway, Vosh said all J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up and she could have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. Women, be quieter and start apologizing challenge. What I kind of took this as was like, women have historically been silenced and they have recently started being more vocal again, and that for some women who have bad opinions, this is counterintuitive to their reputations. Like, this is bad for their reputations. So it's like women learn how being quiet and apologizing can actually be useful social skills. Like, you shouldn't be all girl boss bitch power all the time. Like, does that make any sense? That's kind of how I interpret it. Some people might consider that to be a little bit like sussy after the fact or whatever, but that's just kind of how I read it. It reads like a dig at cis feminism. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just my read of it. I didn't think it was particularly harmful or anything. I read it as a joke and that's about it. Yeah. Let's, I guess, switch back over here. That's fine. The fact this is about her transphobia really implies that meaning to me. Yeah. Implies the meaning that cis white feminism is bad. Yeah. So, I mean, so I guess to circle it around to back to what I was trying to say is like, one of the things that I appreciate about Vosh is that sometimes he'll just make a joke saying like, you're being fucking stupid to a transphobe. Like, sometimes Vosh doesn't validate transphobic views by leveling with them and arguing with them. Sometimes he does, but other times he says, you're being a fucking idiot, and moves on. And I appreciate that. I think that that's useful. If for no other reason than it makes me feel like I'm sane, you know? Like, someone to every once in a while just say like, it is not worth fucking bothering talking to you about whether or not trans people are sexual predators or whatever. Insert fucking issue here. Like, the person believes and is spouting the rhetoric that all trans people are pedophiles who are preying on your children in the bathrooms, and having someone occasionally, instead of just saying like kind of like Natalie Wynn made this point in a video of hers one time, instead of saying like, I promise I'm not a sexual predator, I'm a sweet twan. Like, instead of doing that, just being like, I'm sorry, I think you're kind of fucking retarded. Like, that is just something that I need sometimes. And like, it's not good optics for changing people's minds. That's not what it has to be. Like, not everybody has to be that. I don't think that it's necessary for every single action that you take to keep centrists in mind for every single fucking thing you do and say. Oh my God, can you imagine? Like, do you think that a centrist wants to hear me say trans women should arm themselves with guns? No, they don't want to hear that. They're gonna think that I sound fucking unhinged. But no, I think if someone is like threatening our community, that we should be capable of taking care of ourselves. But that kind of shit sounds really radical. Like, a lot of the beliefs that I have would be dismissed. Guns are expensive, it's true. There is power in mocking the nonsense of women whining about oppression where it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's true. Jokes can be harmful. It's just, yeah, do they hurt more than feelings? Like, is Vosh punching down at women as a group? Because I guess that's the question of, like, whether, is this joke sexist? Or is this joke misogynist? Like, does this joke take aim at women in general? Like, obviously his second statement, women be quieter and start apologizing challenge, is a statement about women, but it's within the context of, like, again, like, I do kind of directly see it as, like, J.K. Rowling's platform is right now all about how I'm a woman and you won't silence me. These trans activists, these trans rights activists are trying to silence me as a woman, and I won't let these these trans-identified males tell me what to do and silence me. So then Vosh comes in saying, like, yeah, as a woman, you're overcorrecting. You should learn the value of shutting the fuck up once in a while. It's a skill. It's a critical social skill. Congratulations on getting to the ripe old age of fucking 64 and not figuring that out. You know? I'm a cat-identified tran. True. Yeah, he does say women, but the context makes it clear he means to be quieter and apologize about trans issues when they're cis. Yes. It's not saying women need to be quiet and apologize about everything. It's saying, like, if you have an opinion that is, like, harmful to another group, maybe shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up about it. I feel like that little tiny segment right there might be something that I can clip out and post to the main channel. Luxander's opinion about Vosh's misogyny. You know? We can maybe post that one up, because I haven't posted fucking shit on the YouTube channel for like 2 weeks. And I need to fix something. That shows her sexism right there. J.K. Rowling counts everyone who opposes her as male or masculine. She doesn't even acknowledge trans women and non-binary folks. I mean, J.K. Rowling does this weird back and forth kind of shit. I don't know. She does the classic TERF shit where she's like, trans women are preying on younger people to turn them trans, and also they're trying to sexually coerce lesbians into having sex with trans women with penises, and at the same time saying that trans men are misguided, lost lesbian sisters who, like, need to be protected from the evil trans women. It's like, I came out before I knew, like, the one person that I knew when I came out was another trans masculine person, and then later I met trans women, but whatever, I guess I was just fucking groomed, is how that works. People don't read with context clues, and it's true. I saw Cat Black tweet, and, like, no shade on Cat Black, this is not a criticism, I'm just observing. Cat Black posted this screenshot of Vosh's 2 tweets culminating with women be quieter, and she asked, like, if you had no idea who this guy was, if you have no idea who this poster was, would you feel as a trans woman that's I guess one of the predominant targets of J.K. Rowling. People don't acknowledge how much J.K. Rowling's, like, infamous essay targeted trans men specifically quite a lot. A lot of people who responded to it were like, trans women are women. And I'm like, that's true. That's not the only thing she talked about. She did shit specifically on my demographic. Yeah, she's not good to us either. But anyway, the cat was like, would you as a trans woman, this is what she said specifically, would you as a trans woman feel as though this tweet was helping you? These 2 tweets were assisting you in some way if you didn't know this person at all. And, like, well, like, not knowing this person at all takes away from the context of their style, of the things that they say. And it's also, like, I still think it's framing this as something that was trying to help, like, change people's minds. This is literally just, he's observing, like, he's like, wow, he's just sitting there thinking, like, wow, people would have just continued loving her until she died if she had just shut the fuck up about trans people. Amazing. I'm gonna post a joke about that, and that's, like, the extent of what happened. you know, it's totally fair. I know Cat Black, I don't know that she doesn't like him or if she just has had criticisms of him before. I kind of feel like Cat Black doesn't really have strong opinions about anyone in particular on the internet. I get the impression that she's just sort of a detached observer. That might not be right, but I get the impression that her life is just not really about online stuff. So I've always gotten the impression that she's just like curiously observing from afar. That's part of why I appreciate her perspective so much, is because she's just like a sort of detached, casual observer who's not invested. But she has had criticisms of him before, and I don't take issue. I remember like thinking that her criticism was different than what it actually was about something. It's been a minute though since I looked into it, and I have a terrible memory. But yes, she was like, do you think this would be helpful? And I think that they're like, you know, do we remember like when people used to say hashtag die cis scum? It was like people would be like, why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Respectability politics, tone policing. I'm like, well, it's not trying to help change anyone's mind. Like sometimes you just need to be like, fuck this system. Like get it just out of your system real quick. I guess like get it out of your body to get this frustration out in this moment and then be able to continue functioning afterwards. Yeah, so generally, like, yeah, this made me grasp viscerally what respectability politics does and why it's so maddening. Gotta have that catharsis. True. Dicyscum is very old school punk. Yeah, yeah. It's just not, I don't know. That's just always been my prerogative, is that there are different tactics for that like serve different purposes, and you cannot have a mind to respectability politics at all times. You know, you have to be able to let out your edgy jokes sometimes. You can argue whether this level of platform was like the correct size for that, I guess, but like I still think it's really valuable, and I know Vash is a very busy guy who, like, we get on well. We've been nice to each other, but we're not like friends, I guess. If he ever is interested in seeing what my opinion is about what he has said on this subject, I appreciate this. Like, not that I specifically appreciate the women be quieter part or anything, but that I appreciate, like, again, fundamentally, the willingness to just be like, wow, you're a dumb bitch. Like, as much as it's, I guess, counterintuitive in some ways, as much as it's like, I've lost my SJW card by saying that it would be based to call J.K. Rowling a dumb bitch for the things that she has said about trans people. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what you're learning about me about this is that I'm a really patient person for the most part. I'm a really kind person. I'm a really caring person. It matters to me a lot to be fair and to try to reach people if I can reach people, right? But I am also angry and vindictive and petty and probably a lot of other negative descriptors. I am not perfect, and like I totally think that like it's, if you have a person who is consistently misgendering you, that you should misgender them back until they're hurt enough to understand what you're saying. Like, I don't think that it's fundamentally like morally wrong to misgender a cis person in retaliation for them misgendering you. I think that that's a damn good way to teach them. So amongst all the other things about like my willingness to affiliate with people who are perfect or not, like I am just also in of my own self going to have these feelings, and I'm just gonna like have them in public sometimes. And hopefully that's okay with people, you know? I'm not necessarily going to post something like what Vosh posted, but I'm also not going to condemn him for it. And I will openly say, I appreciated this. I understood what he was going for. Maybe my perception of it is way too generous. That's an entire possibility. But that's just how I read it. And if people disagree, you're welcome to disagree. If you already don't like Vosh, you're probably not going to agree about any charitable interpretation. And I just have to accept that at this point. Like, there's plenty of people that I know who I just have to, like, who are just vehemently against Vosh, whereas I really like him, and, you know, I think he's a really kind person and everything. Like, I think he is a good person to have on your side, just because he's, like, a solid, like, genuine person, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a good person to be allied with, and he, I think, demonstrates allyship often. So, you know, I'm just at that point where I have to openly say, like, this satisfies something in me. Like, this satisfies my need to be validated that this is fucking insane. It's fucking insane that the person who wrote the books that I identified with as a child has now fully come out with the idea that a lot of my friends are sexual predators who are trying to strip quote-unquote real women of their rights, and who meanwhile categorizes me with women and considers me like a poor, mistaken, fallen, lost woman who, like, at the age of 15 was brainwashed by the trans cabal, you know? Like, it's absurd that I have to live in that world. And I need someone to validate that absurdity sometimes. Like, this is not normal. It's not okay. When did we just start passively accepting that, like, hating trans people and wanting to deny them rights is, like, just... yeah, that's just normal. You just have to deal with that. It's expanded to every fucking segment of society at this point. Like, the amount of laws that are being made are ridiculous. Anyway, I really want to get off of this because I want to get off this stream, and I don't want to end it on this like negative note. We are the Trans Cabal. We meet every other Wednesday behind the Kinkos. True. Yeah. Mersh told a turf that they would pray for the turf. That's pretty funny. So yeah. Anyway, I need to get better at not ending my streams on a rant, because that's just not ideal. Here, we'll see what Dizzy had to say. Oh, this is a long thread. I don't want to read all that right now. I know it's not even that much, but I just don't want to. I'm sleepy. Come back, chat. Come back. Rants do make great content. It's true. It's true. So. Too long, didn't read. True. TLDR. Dicks. I am gonna go to bed. Yeah, I think my partner already went to bed, and I am gonna pass out now. And it's gonna be so good. My bed is so comfy. I'm so excited. Alright. It's been a small crowd tonight, but I appreciate you all anyway. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're ending this stream, so like basically about $150 I'm gonna send to Demon Mama, courtesy of Luxander and its horde, to help them with groceries, help them, the household, all get food or whatever. So I'll probably go ahead and send that tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, we will stream again. Maybe we'll do an enemies only call-in stream tomorrow. Enemies only. If you're a friend and you call in during the enemies only stream, I'll fucking ban you from the server. Don't play around. Don't play around. Okay. I just lost the game. Good night.